Hey everyone, hope you're well, Arya here. This podcast on Akuma was originally recorded back in the beginning of May, so apologies for the delay. Had some health issues last month, which meant I couldn't edit or do much of anything really. But it's sorted now, so everything's good, and I hope you enjoy the show. Take care. Alright, guys, thanks so much for joining me on Wavedash 10. Today we have an Akuma-focused podcast with some of the best, arguably the best, Akuma player in the world. So let's get into it. First up, we have SuperAkouma.
Hello, that's me.
And we have GoukiAkuma.
Hey guys.
And DinoAkuma.
What's up?
Hey, and Akuma. Yeah. Okay. So, we're gonna, Akuma's always been kind of a contentious, controversial character in Tekken 7. Ever since he was released. I think when he was first released, it was more excitement. And then his reception has kind of has probably soured recently with the community. And we're here to talk about that and why that is. Is that justified or not? And I suppose first question is, So, do you guys think Akuma is a good addition to Tekken? Is he real Tekken? What is real Tekken? And these questions are all written up by DinoAkuma, by the way. So, thanks for that. So, guys, what do you think? Is he a good addition? I mean, it might be
ruined Tekken. Tekken used to have real characters in it, and then this character came along, and anyone can win with him. And Tekken didn't used to be about jumping and fireballs and EX moves, and he's ruined the purity of this fantastic gaming series forever.
Spoken like a true dinosaur. Yeah.
No. So like, I think like every Tekken has had characters where people have said this character isn't Tekken, and that's happened every single version of it that's come out in recent memory. They've just been like, this is too much, this is crazy. People hated Eddie when he first came out. People found Steve incredibly jarring in Tekken 4, and didn't like being tackled by Marduk from miles away. People hated Feng. People hated Lars and Elisa, obviously. Every single Tekken, everyone comes out and they're like, this character has ruined the special nature of what made this game great.
Yeah.
And they're always wrong.
Yeah. And now he's in the lore. You're gonna see way more Akuma in every Tekken from now on.
Yeah, the story is not finished between Akuma and Kazuya. It's not. We've got unfinished business. So
now until Tekken 12, you will see Akuma.
Yeah, and he's gonna get announced in the same way as well. You're gonna think that you're safe until Evo or some other event where he gets announced, and then the crowd goes wild. Obviously.
Yeah. Some with anger, some with happiness. But
guys, what do you think Akuma kind of brings to the table? Really, because look, there might be a slight bias on this chat because I think all of us, if we're not an Akuma player, we're at least an Akuma supporter. So maybe I should have got a vocal kind of anti-Akuma player, but it is what it is.
I mean, there were plenty of those as well. You had plenty to choose from.
Well, the entire chat, guys, chat. Let me just send out a quick question: yay or nay, Akuma? Just a quick yay or nay, and let's nay, yay, no, yay, no, yay, no, yay. It seems fairly split. I'm surprised. Maybe it's just a very loud vocal minority that seems to hate this character. But as far as the chat goes, it actually seems. I mean, a few people are like fuck Akuma, but but I'm getting a 60% yay. So guys, what do you think Akuma brings to the table for Tekken 7 or Tekken in general?
As well, I'll say usable, projectiles. That's quite a different aspect of Tekken that we've never really seen. Of course, there's been gimmick projectiles like lasers and item moves and stuff. But Akuma's Fireball is something that we've never really seen in a Tekken game. Like a zoning tool, which is actually really useful because it can't be crushed by it's only crushed by moves that are designed to do that, right? Which does bring a really interesting aspect to any matchup that has a Akuma in it, right? So usable projectiles, I think, is one thing that Tekken has never really had, and now Akuma's part of Tekken. It's one of those, right? Yeah.
So you, Leslie, you were Tekken. You started with Tekken 7, right?
Yeah. Well, I played Tekken Tag 2, but I'd never really played anything too serious. I mean, I wish I did, because the combos in Tag 2 are amazing, but I never knew what combos were in Tag 2. So Tekken 7 is my first.
So what was it that drew you to Akuma in the first place?
Well, I started with Devil Jin. So I played Devil Jin in Tag 2. He looked cool, and I played Street Fighter 4 a little bit as a casual sort of fighting game, because I've always been interested in the concept of fighting games. And seeing Akuma in Tekken 7, it was always like difficult for me to play, because fighting games in general are quite difficult. But I suppose I've never played a fighting game seriously, so I had a clean slate of learning like characters and learning fighting games and execution, and coming from Street Fighter a little bit and seeing one of my favorite characters, or some sort of seeing my favorite personality, I suppose, fictional personality in the game that I play would that's what brought me to Akuma.
So it's mainly the character design.
Yeah, and just Akuma's as a personality as well. Yeah.
How about you, SuperAkouma? What drew you to the character? Because I think I've noticed a trend that a lot of Akuma players tend to have Akuma in the name, such as your fondness for the character. So what is it that drew you to the character?
There's a few things to know about this. Well, first, my nickname was SuperAkouma before Akuma came out, but it's also unrelated to Akuma.
Oh, really?
I just needed a new PSN account because I hacked my PS3 because I don't like paying for stuff. But I also bought another PS3 because I wanted to play online. And I was watching an episode of Team 4-Star, the Dragon Ball Z parody.
Oh, yeah.
And the big green sage Namek that unlocks Gohan's potential?
Oh, yeah.
The big fat one.
The big one, yeah.
His name in the series is Super Kami Guru. So I wrote down Super Kami, but that was taken. And I just thought, what sounds kind of similar to that? And I just put SuperAkouma down.
Huh.
That's why my nickname's SuperAkouma. Because then I went on to my first tournament. But it was a multi-game tournament that advertised Tekken. I go there, Tekken's not there. Right? And then he knows the Tekken people, so he called them over. It was Tag 2, there was a drought for the new players, right? So they drove across town just for me. And they're like, all right, what should we call you? I'm like, my PSN SuperAkouma, and that just stuck. And then I was on my way to my local, in the car, and people tag me and say, "Oh, this is the character for you. Look what we just got announced." And I didn't want to believe it. I saw a picture of Akuma. I just thought it was a meme. I saw the trailer. I almost caused a fucking car accident. The thing is, it became a joke that I was Akuma because I'm very competitive. I want to win not by any means necessary, really, but I sort of had that image. Yeah. So I was kind of Akuma. And Akuma gets announced. And I have to play it. I just have to. And so, I wouldn't have stuck with him if I didn't like him, but I had to try at least.
So I want to ask, what about Akuma? Is it the aesthetic appeal, or is it his personality, his drive to win at any costs that kind of attracts you to that character?
A bit of both, but I'm not that bothered, honestly. Why I'm sticking to him is because I like high execution. I like characters that hit hard, and I don't just mean hit your life bar hard. The impact of a move. Like
Feel strong.
Forward. Yeah, like you get hit by forward, like it feels bad. Like you get hurt. There's a big impact to moves. That's what
it felt worse for the opponent. Just saying. It has felt worse in the past for opponents.
Until very recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, Akuma's appeal. Like, of course, in the world of Street Fighter, the main kind of player for Akuma is Tokido. Guys, do you kind of look up to, or did you kind of take inspiration from a Tokido in any way, or is he just like another player for you?
Not really before. That's more of a recent thing. I used to take more inspiration off of Justin Wong's Akuma in Marvel.
Oh, really?
Like people said, "Oh, are you trying to be like in Street Fighter? You're trying to play good Akuma." I'm like, no, I'm trying to play bullshit Akuma for Marvel, just jumping out and throwing fireballs everywhere. And just if I could throw a giant laser, I would. That's who I take inspiration from.
The bullshit.
Yeah, like you've seen Justin Wong comebacks in Marvel 3, haven't you?
My favorite Justin Wong comeback is Evo 2008. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's his match against Yipes where he has like Cyclops and that's it. It's Cyclops against his entire team. Marvel 2, sorry, not Marvel 3. This is Marvel 2. What year was it? I can't quite remember. I think it was 2000.
I feel like it was earlier than 2008.
Might have been. I think it was the year after Evo Moment 37, I believe. So that might have been 2006, actually. Anyway, that comeback, if you guys don't know about it, check it out. Just write Cyclops, Yipes, Justin Wong, Evo. It's incredible because he literally has one character. This is 2005. Yeah, 2005. He has one character and he takes down, like, I think it's MSP. Like, he takes down one of the strongest teams in MVC2 all by himself. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, he has a habit of doing that in Marvel 3, but with Akuma. Yeah. Like, he has a habit. I've never seen this man with a life lead. Yeah. But I haven't seen him lose a lot.
The Wong factor.
Yeah, the Wong factor.
Well,
it's sick.
Leslie, GoukiAkuma and SuperAkouma. Which Akuma players in Tekken 7 do you look up to or take inspiration from?
Learn from? I can't really mention Akuma players without SuperAkouma being up there. Just because he's European, though. That's it. No, I'm kidding. There are Korean Akuma players that I kind of look up to because when I was developing, I suppose, my skill as using the character, there would be videos that I would watch, or like hours and hours of footage of Eunja and obviously Daddy King as well. These top level Akuma players, and I would spend my time traveling to high school watching. I'd download the night before just hours and hours of sets that they would both play with, whoever, and just seeing what I could take from their games and the way that they play Akuma. And of course, watching SuperAkouma in tournaments and stuff like that was a big inspiration for me. So yeah, thanks for that.
No problem. For me, like, I only really had arcade version Akumas to look up to because I started straight away. Like Eunja, Daddy King, all that, they weren't doing anything with Akuma straight away. So I got most of my developmental period of Akuma watching Ni.
Okay.
Like when he was still putting in time into the character. I was watching a lot of tool-assisted combo videos just to see like the extent of what the character can do. So I could have an idea of what creative ways I can use the character in. Because like they push the game to the limit, so it's more fun.
Yeah.
I did watch a bit of Chikurin, a bit of Chanel, but the one Akuma really made me think, okay, this is what I like, was watching Ni. Ni's not really known for his Akuma, though. He's not. Like, you can watch it. It's set. It was still the arcade version, but he was playing JDCR's Kazuya, and I think that set was pretty good. It's still a bit of arcade version Akuma, which isn't the same as now. But that's what I was watching when I was trying to see what solid Akuma play looks like. Because if you watch Chanel, Punko, whatever, they just went in because it's Akuma. Chanel sort of showed me that I should use while standing 2 as a mix-up more.
Right.
But that's the only thing I got from Chanel. Ni, I got like a neutral, poking, distances, and stuff like that. Then I developed my own style on my own.
Okay.
But I've stolen bits and bobs off of most Akuma players. I've stolen stuff off of Leslie, to be honest. I've stolen stuff from Awais. I haven't stolen anything from Farzeen now, but I still think he's a great player. Who else? I've stolen shit from most Akuma players. The only thing I invented was 4-3, get off the wall with 4-3, jumping knee to get the wall again. Like, I invented that. That's the only thing I didn't steal off of someone. But at least I can
now everyone uses it.
To this.
Yeah.
So I'm actually not familiar with that setup. Like, can you go into it a bit? Like, what is it? When is it used?
You wall splat with a move that has very quick recovery. You step, and you can step enough to get them off of the wall.
Right. But
you're in their back. So then you jump over.
So it's a cross up.
Which means, you cross them up, but after the tailspin, then you jab, which makes you turn around, and then you put them back on the wall for a regular wall combo.
Oh wow!
It's like Lily's cross up if you see it.
Yeah, I was going to say
off the wall, and she does a front flip.
It's kind of like
It's wild to think that, of course, the Street Fighter character is going to have cross ups, but cross ups have kind of always been a part of Tekken, mostly at the wall. Generally,
I
not used that much.
All my characters, to be honest. The generic jumping 4 when they tech, that's always been a thing, and I always use that.
Yeah,
because it does better damage than a lot of wall combos.
Yeah,
not all, but a lot of wall combos, and then it puts them in a unfamiliar situation they might not be ready for. A lot of players, they're like, "Oh shit, I got hit. What happened?" But like, what happened, so you can adapt quicker. And you do sort of a speed mix-up.
Well, yeah, I mean, Rip is kind of infamous for using cross-ups at the wall. That's kind of like one of his go-to things after he does, 4-3 DSS, 4-3 or whatever.
There actually used to be like a super old... it used to be a super old tech trap after Mishima Stonehead. If you just did a big jumping forward, if the Mishima did Stonehead and they did big jumping forward 3, like the stunning mid kick, it would, for some reason, it would cross up at the last minute. And the weird thing is, if you held either direction, you would basically be fine, because if you held forward, you would block the thing. If you held in one direction, you would break the stun, and if you held the other way, you would just block it. But what happened is that everyone would try and hold what they thought was back, and then would suddenly react and try and hold back the other way, and would get juggled. Like, it was one of these things where, like, if you just did one thing and stuck to it, you'd be fine. But it was a very strange thing, but also very old.
Is it still a thing? Is it?
No, it's been gone for a million years. You can't tech trap off Stonehead anymore.
You can do the jumping free tech trap, just not off of Stonehead.
Yeah,
and it's a bit more specific. But I've seen the stunning jumping free as a cross up, but it doesn't work as well as the 4.
So guys, I want to kind of just rewind a little bit to a question we asked right at the beginning and explore it and unpack it in a bit more detail. It's that, is Akuma a good addition to Tekken? If so, why? If not, why not? Like, what are the bad things about Akuma? And conversely, what are the good things? Just to put it really simply.
I think the good things are that he's he's super deep. He's very, very challenging to play. So like, the more time you put into him, the better you will be. Like, again, he's, like in almost every game he's in, he's a super technical, very overwhelming character. Like, and that's sort of on both sides of the equation. He can overwhelm you as a player because you can't keep up with him, like as you're playing him. But he's also, as in most of the games that he's in, he can feel like he's completely running you over if he's like on the other side of things. So like, and he's a character who has his own identity, his own like special things that he can do. Like Leslie was saying, he's got all these like special abilities that no one else has access to, not just EX Dragon Punch, but focus attack and the way his special moves and focus attack interact, and demon flip and all this stuff. And it all can get used in crazy ways, rest in peace, rest in peace, key charge, demon.
Yeah.
But
F in the chat.
Pour one out. But all these other things, like, the way that you could sidestep if he does red fireball after standing 2, but then if you try and punish him, if you try and punish the focus attack afterwards, he can hold the focus attack, all this other kind of stuff. Like, there's lots and lots of, like, the character can be carried very far, both in terms of, like, the things he can do and the counterplay against it. And that's, like, that's cool. And, like I said, he's very hard to play. Not everyone can play this character. Like, especially, like, Ni, I've said this before, but, Ni and Arsalan really put a fair amount of time into playing Akuma before the end of the Tekken World Tour, because they were just like, this is the best character in the game. But in the end, I think they both realized I'm just not suited to this character. He is not a character that everyone can play.
Yeah.
On the bad side, he can kill you instantly. Like,
on the bad side, is that a bad thing?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're playing against Akuma, like, he's got some, matchups against him are very strange. There are a lot of situations where, like, you have to do a lot of rote learning against the character, depending on who you are playing, because your answers to things like demon flip or just jump-ins or things like this are going to be radically different based on what character you're playing. And sometimes that's a lot harder than it is. Sometimes that's a lot harder with some characters than it is with others. So you have to put a lot of time into learning the character, into learning both the character, how to play against him, as well as how to play him. And yeah, his damage is incredibly explosive, and you can get put into, like, very bad 50-50 situations, like, almost all the time. Like, if you're someone who just likes to block a lot, unless your movement is very, very good, very, very good, like, as in you are very good at backdashing and sidestepping, you're gonna struggle. Like, so, like, a lot of people who don't want the game to be about 50-50s are going to, like, might find Akuma particularly annoying to fight against.
Well, you could also argue that Akuma's punishment is something that, is arguably a bad thing. How you can play well for people who don't play as Akuma, right? Because you can play with moves that are good because they're relatively, well, they're unsafe, but not so unsafe that you'll die, that they'll die for using them, right? But like Brian's Wilson 3, right? You can use that against many characters and not suffer too much. But like, if you use it against Akuma, as much as a good tool it is, and you're inclined to use it because it's a powerful move, if the Akuma player is sharp enough, they are going to end up taking away half of your health for using that. So you could argue that playing against Akuma is difficult because you can't use moves that are good, but so that limits your options, and it makes the matchup just inherently more difficult.
I just have one thing for that. Like, all of that was right, but I don't think having to lab the matchup that much is I wouldn't put that in negatives really, because like, if I can go into training mode and in after 10 minutes I know how to play against the character, there's no depth. But even on your side, I think the fact that he's a bit too hard to fight against. I might argue that, but might be okay with that. But you shouldn't learn the character just straight away. He should be difficult to play against. If he's difficult to play, he should be difficult to play against. And the fun of labbing it is it's fun. It's one of the things that makes the game. Difficult situations you have to lab.
Well, the thing is, he has a very small move list.
As well, but he can do a lot with it.
Exactly, yeah. He can do probably the most out of Tekken with his move list, even though it is so small.
Yeah, I think that's true to an extent, but like there are things, Akuma specific things. It's also the fact that like a lot of Tekken can, I've sort of said this before, it can come down to sort of quiz Tekken, where people you can just, a lot of, even at tournament level, it is just about people going, you know, do you know this? Do you know this? Do you know this? Do you know this? And you can kind of do that to an extent. Like, this is present to some extent at all levels. Like, people will try and just do knowledge tests, right? But the problem is that like sometimes with Akuma, and again, I'm not an Akuma hater. I like the character a lot. I think he's. Yeah. But there are occasions when, like, for example, you can learn to, if you've started to like jab against demon flip on reaction. But with some characters in some situations, for example, after certain moves, like Demon Flip 4 will just go straight through your jab, and you've instantly lost the round. Like, the round is gone. And you've probably, like, you've either lost the round, or you've given Akuma a bar of meter, and you've got 20% left. Like, you've given him a huge meter boost and a huge damage boost, like, every time you get hit by Demon Flip 4. So it's like, the test in that situation is almost exactly the same as the test you just saw, but it's a test that instantly kills you. So there are a few of these situations where it's like, you know, his demon flip options after jab while standing 2 or while standing 3 or whatever will be subtly different, and they'll be subtly different depending on your character. So you have to not just have like labbed the character, but you'll have to have labbed against that character with your character. And yeah, and the price for getting it wrong is death.
That's what I wanted to say. Like, the problem is, he is an extremely powerful and frustrating character. Like I was saying, labbing is part of the fun. The problem is, when you mess up, it doesn't make you want to lab it more. It does make you just want to kill yourself.
Well, it's so unforgiving, right? It's so unforgiving when you try and jab Demon Flip and then you just get hit by Demon Flip 4.
I know how rough it is. Everyone has seen me lose to every Akuma. No one ever sees me when I win against Akuma, by the way. But everyone sees me lose terribly, terribly to Akuma. And yeah, the fact that it's different, how drastically different it is from matchup to matchup, is kind of a negative. I can give you that. But you should be labbing with your character. Like, the problem is, Akuma is basically in a lot of situations, the toughest matchup to work and to play against. So you shouldn't go in with just a sub character if you want to win against Akuma. Right. You're playing the hardest difficulty, basically. You need to give it your all with what you've labbed. Don't go in with a sub. Go in with what you know. It's like a good example of that is, there's players that are pretty good players. They'll try and pick Jack against me, but they don't actually main Jack, and they haven't practiced Jack against Akuma that much. I will kill him. I don't care the matchup is 7-3 or 8-2 for him. I don't care. If you haven't labbed this, even if it's good, I will kill you for it. Like, you won't make it. If you're a Jack main, then I have a real problem. Like, no character will be an answer. Labbing will be the answer. But the fact of how drastically different it is a problem.
I think it's also just like it's not just labbing though, because it's like the what happens in the Akuma matchup is so fast and diverse that you need to you just need to play against Akuma players, and in a lot of situations, for a lot of people, this is quite tough because the very fact that Akuma is a very hard character to play means that no one ever gets to play against Akuma players. How many Akuma players do you actually get to play against?
I've
either of you.
benefited from that a lot. I can't lie.
Yeah, but also you don't get to practice the mirror that much.
I don't.
Presumably.
I don't.
But then you hear about
how much have you played the mirror?
Well, it's something that I actually actively look out for now. Because it is a matchup that you don't play. But so recently I've been trying to play more against Akuma. But I was just going to mention, you hear about Akuma dominating tournaments, or you have done recently enough where it's relevant. But you'll rarely find Akuma players. So I find that as a quite it's a good distinction to make, how there are few Akuma players realistically, but the ones you find are good ones, and ones that will, be in top 8s and all of that. It is quite the distinction to make. I find. Maybe that's due to Pakistan. I'm not too sure.
I think I mean, I don't think there would have been. I don't think there would have been an outcry if not for Pakistan. To be honest, I think it's basically just been down to them. I think
I was doing just fine before they turned up. No one was hating me. I had loads of fans. Pakistan turns up and I'm hated. What happened?
And they could have left you with Pakistan. They could have left you with season 3, the first version of season 3 Akuma, without any of this stuff.
I would have loved that. Not gonna lie, I would have loved that. But that ties into the next question. But we got more to cover. So I won't talk about that too much.
But yeah, I mean, so basically, I've said this to Ari a lot. When we said, what's real Tekken is Akuma. I've always been a supporter of Akuma in the game because I think he's really fun to play. I think he's really fun to play against. I can understand that he's a bit robberies, particularly in tournaments and short sets, because you can, like I said, you can just die instantly, and then you're like, what just happened? But yeah, I think he's a really he's just super he's super fun. He's not and I've said this with many times, he's the best addition to Tekken they've made in years. He's the most complete, deep, technical, fun, get into him what you put out of get out of him what you put into him character that they've had for donkey's years, that they've taken real risks with him, and I think he's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, if you look, and we talked about this, wasn't last episode, maybe 2 episodes ago, but if you look at high-level Tekken play, what generally runs tournament Tekken is good down forward ones, good jab strings, good movement, and Akuma doesn't really have any of those, yet he's still arguably the best character in the game, but in a completely different vein to the other established top tiers.
Well, I think his movement, you mentioned movement, his movement is completely different to any other character's, movement. Because Demon Flip and jumps, I say that Demon Flip and jumps and, maybe the invincibility of Heavy Shoryuken is like his sidestep in some ways. Because characters can sidestep strings, but Akuma can Shoryuken through them. Of course, that's more risky, but, and he can jump over lows and stuff like this to have incredible reward. So in some senses, his jumps and Demon Flips and, his aspects which are indicative of 2D characters is what gives him that sort of movement, and I think that's why he's now a top tier character.
Yeah, I don't count EXDP in that personally, but I think the same thing. It's just he's got glaring weaknesses, but he makes up for it with how good the rest of it is. He has different options to what we're used to, but they're essentially the same. Is you had one option with most Tekken characters. He has another option, but it's still just one option that beats that. that's why you have to rewire your brain when you're against him.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to remember, he can jump over you, but that's because he can't do other stuff. He can't sidestep properly. Like, the reason he's got these tools is to compensate for his weaknesses.
Is it true that he couldn't sidestep at all in his first iterations?
You mean in Super Street Fighter 2? Yes, it is very true. Akuma could not sidestep in.
No, obviously I mean Tekken.
In Fated Retribution, he could sidestep. He was ridiculous in Fated Retribution when they first unveiled it.
I think he had good movement in the first version.
Yeah.
He didn't have any weaknesses when he first came out.
Yeah.
The arcade version of Kuma was just ridiculous. He had more damage than Season 1 and 2 Akuma. He had a better jump, faster and more crushing.
Yep.
And he had the movement, and he had longer range, and you didn't need clean hit for down 3.
Yeah. He was absurd. It was
so hard to imagine that. Okay, that version of Akuma, yeah, sure. Okay, you want to complain about that one? I don't mind. I'll complain with you. But he's changed. He's changed.
The thing is that even Season 1 Akuma, even Season 2 Akuma, I remember, like, at the time when we did the Season 2 changes, we listed him as like P tier or something. And we thought of him as a high risk, middling, kind of high risk, high reward, middling character who can be outplayed with strong Tekken fundamentals. And then, because the character is so challenging, it took a while for his meta, his game plan to develop. And then around Season 3, people started seeing his successes in tournaments, especially. And people thought that it's the Season 3 changes that made Akuma really strong. When, his forward 3 was buffed. What else did he get coming into Season 3?
Raging Storm. Sorry, not Raging Storm.
Raging Demon. Anywhere.
Raging Demon after the screw.
Yeah. It wasn't huge.
Forward
was basically it
as well.
Down forward 1 and 2 is also better plus frames and leaves you closer.
That's right.
Yeah, same with forward 1 plus 2 as well. Yeah.
Oh, forward 4 gave you a better combo and was better on block.
Yeah, that's it. But nothing that fundamentally changed the character. He was a bit stronger in Season 3, but really, it's just people just figured out how to maximize his potential.
So, a good example for that point is people will know who I'm talking about, but I've had videos made about me telling me that I'm trash, right? Because of ego problems, but I won't say who it is. People will know. There's footage of me losing in 2018 in Season 1 in that video that came out in 2019. Excuse me if I needed time to learn the game. Right? Yeah, sure, I lost. Like, people say, oh, you lost. People make fun of me for losing JDCR as well. I don't get that. Can you, the game just came out.
Why didn't you just beat him?
Yeah.
What were you doing? It's just
yeah. This is just unacceptable.
You could have saved all this if you just beat him.
Oh, where were you in Tag 2? First of all, I didn't do particularly bad in Tag 2, but there were no tournaments by the end of it, even though I kept improving. And then Tekken 7 happened and I go, oh, you never did anything before Akuma. Well, excuse me for getting better at the game. I need time to improve. I didn't just come out of nowhere. I haven't been playing for as long as Dinosaur, but I've been around. And people just think, oh, Season 3 Akuma happened and you started winning. Like, people say, oh, he suddenly won the mix-up. I've been winning challenger events fucking everywhere before that. But they just see, it just comes into their consciousness, and they don't see what everything that happened prior to that. So they just say, oh, Akuma got buffed.
Yeah.
SuperAkouma beat John Ding while laughing. So clearly Akuma's completely broken. But it's just, it took time to master the character and for players to learn Tekken 7, which is quite different from Tag 2 and previous centuries of Tekken.
I want to kind of touch on that. Let's talk a bit about some of the best Akuma players in the world. Who are they, and what is their speciality? Because even with a character, not everyone's going to play him exactly alike. So, for example, SuperAkouma, how is your Akuma distinct? GoukiAkuma, how is your Akuma distinct? How about Awais Honey? What makes his Akuma?
My Akuma is I have meterless EX invincible jumps. I have a very, very good timing for when I jump. I make jumping look completely busted. I jump over anti-airs regularly, right? I don't know really how I do it, but that is how I play. Caiper, he does the bullshit Akuma plays, but he is not scared. He goes balls in. He thinks about it, right? He's smart, and he'll go for the 50-50s and guess right. But because he's such a good player, he's not just doing coin flip and being lucky. But he's not scared to just go in and in and in. I'm much more patient and wait for my opportunity to use the jump.
Right.
Awais Ani is much more ground based, and he will wait for his opportunity to. He'll play very in frame. Like he won't. Like a lot of players, they're like, "Oh, I'm at +5. I'll do a 20 frame move, even though it can be interrupted. Like they'll respect me." It's not just Awais Ani, that's general Pakistan style. They don't play outside of their frames.
Okay.
But Awais Ani, like that, he doesn't play outside of his frames until that one moment where you crack. Like if he's at minus, he doesn't tend to press too many buttons because he's playing inside his frames. But just when you think, okay, he's not pressing buttons, that's when he goes in.
Right.
But you've also seen Awais Ani. He's beating up players with Negan, so he's clearly a very, very strong player outside of Akuma as well, which is clearly helpful. Which is why I think he stays on the ground quite a lot, because maybe it's not that he's not embraced fully Akuma, but he doesn't need to really, to make him world class.
No, I don't think that's it. I played him. He is he is an Akuma player.
You think so?
Atif plays Akuma. He might have played him better than Awais. That's debatable. But he was never. I want to play Akuma. I'm an Akuma main. Awais did really.
Oh, well, no, I agree with that. Yeah.
So what about Atif and GoukiAkuma? What is it that defines these players? Goki, you go for it.
Yeah.
Much more. He wants to do too many fancy stuff. He's a combo video man.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I just make cool combos.
He just wants to get the
lab monster, huh?
Yeah, and I like to optimally punish when I can. So
there's one thing you do that no other Kuma does.
Okay.
I think I don't agree with doing it, but when it works, right? Is normally we do the 50-50 with down 3 or while standing 2. He'll use while standing 3 DP cancels.
Yeah, why wouldn't anyone do that? Cool.
Because if you did that before, when bar was plentiful and abundant, yeah, sure, that wasn't a problem. I've dashed in, done DP cancel just for the fun of it, because I'll get a bar anyway. But now that you're very scarce, I wouldn't do it. But
on block you are plus though if you manage to cancel it.
No, it's good. The problem is wasting a bar when for plus frames. It used to be worth it. After the meter nerf, I think meter for plus frames isn't worth it anymore.
I think it's worth it in the wall.
Yeah, against the wall, it's against the wall is only where it's usable, because whilst only 3 will push back too far to where you can't cancel the Shoryuken, and sometimes it whiffs. But
you do at the wall.
At the wall,
at the wall, it's good, because then you just do.
And it's quite an unfamiliar situation to have heavy Shoryuken FADC on block for the opponent. So perhaps they don't know the exact frame data. So I think that's why it's powerful.
You can never see it.
Yeah.
And when it works, it really does work. So
yeah, no, it's good tech. It's just risky, but you won't get punished for it.
Right. Yeah.
What
I saw you did
wasting an opportunity for something. Like I would rather lose a bit of life on a float combo than waste my meter.
I suppose, because you're gaining meter if you lose the life anyway. So
yeah. Who was the last one you said?
Well, I said Atif, but also let's not forget Farzeen, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Farzeen, I think Farzeen's a good mix of me and Awais.
I think I'd say that's true. Yeah.
Pakistan bloodline flowing through him, right? But he does try to be a bit more creative than than Awais. He's very solid. He'll adapt well. Like Farzeen's an amazing player all around, but he doesn't have that as much of a pronounced style as me or Awais. He's sort of between us two, I think. I like playing against Farzeen more than Awais because it feels a lot more similar to playing myself, and that's super weird to me, and I like it.
I think, but how old is Farzeen again, and how long's he been playing?
I think he turned 17 recently.
That blows my mind.
He's been 16 for for most of my life, so.
He's been 16 for years.
Yeah, it's been 16 for years, yeah.
That actually blows my mind that he is the level that he is, and I've literally been playing Tekken longer than he's been alive.
But there's tons of high-level players who started off as child prodigies. Like Harry Potter, he's called Harry Potter because when he started,
I thought you were talking about
Harry Potter.
The Harry Potter for a second.
Yeah,
child prodigies.
Harry Potter, the Italian player, because he was literally I can't remember how old he was. He was ridiculously young when he started, but he looked just like Harry Potter, and then he turned into Nicolas Cage's. He turned into Sylvester Stallone's son from the Rocky films later on. But when he started, he looked like Harry Potter. That's why everyone called him it. But Bronson, I'm pretty sure Bronson, used to turn up to Tekken Tag 1 tournaments on a tricycle with one of those hats with a cap with a little propeller on the top. Joey Fury. He was super young. Anakin.
Gen was 13 years old. Evo Grand Finals.
Oh, wow. Yeah, AK, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, AK's debut was mad. I regularly rewatch that. It was so good.
How old was he at his debut?
I think he's 18 now. 18 or 19 now.
But in his Tekken debut,
13.
Yeah, he must have been about.
It's insane.
13 or 14, something like that.
Blows my mind.
I think maybe Gen was 14 and he was 13, I think.
Yeah. Well, two more players on the Akuma list that we can't forget. Atif Butt and Rickstah as well.
Oh, Rickstah was, actually, come to think of it, Rickstah was amongst
fun.
Yeah, they're so fun to watch, and they're amongst the reasons that I play Akuma now. So
entertaining, right?
Yeah, of course.
He's entertaining is what I'd say.
He
doesn't optimize very well, but he'll just throw stuff that's just, how is that a thing? And it's amazing. It's fun to watch, but he doesn't optimize very well. He just tries to be too creative.
Right.
Is what I'd say. Not that he's bad when I say he doesn't optimize. The guy's got a level. Don't underestimate Rickstah. But he's just too wacky.
He gave us that super fireball slow-mo, and nobody's going to forget that, right?
Yeah.
So,
but I think most Akuma players were that's what happened.
Well, yeah. I mean,
that the super sort of goes a bit backwards.
Yeah.
And
slow-mo antics in this game, But slow-mo,
be reasonable, man.
Slow-mo changes some of the hurt boxes, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I'm sure it must. Yeah. There are things that only work in slow-mo.
You can see the blocks, animation of Brian's rage drive in the slow-mo, but Akuma's super fireball still connected and killed.
Right.
So,
must have been a pixel thing, like a pixel to pixel kind of interaction.
Yeah.
But...
He also must have he must have screwed up the buffer, because otherwise the super fireball just should have beat the thing.
Yeah,
it should have beat the rage drive straight out.
Should beat it straight out. Yeah.
And
or he delayed it. Just
the
enough.
Ranger does that a bit as well. I beat I'm gonna say I robbed Real Menace yesterday in the tournament. I was stuck to him. He teched. He did wall standing 4. I did rage art, and like he's there, right? The wall standing 4 does this, and I come back. Raging Demon sometimes just doesn't get hit. Like there's no super armor. I had 1 pixel, I would have died.
Yeah. No, I've had that too. Yeah.
Slow-mo hitbox glitch, but there's no slow-mo because there's the cinematic effect before it comes out.
Do you know, there's a very specific situation with slow-mo, actually, that I can mention with Akuma. And it's if you do down 3 into half circle back 1, which is the 1 projectile red fireball, if the down 3 gets blocked, if the opponent does while standing 4, or like an I-11 while standing move, the fireball and the while standing move should trade. However, if it's on a slow-mo, the fireball will beat it out completely, giving you the win rather than the draw.
I remember that.
That is super weird.
I've experienced it twice in tournament, and you know I've told my opponent, well, that should have worked, and I shouldn't have won, but I'm sorry. yeah. That's because the fireball. I don't think the fireball actually in that interaction is affected by the slow mo, or if it is, it's not to the extent in which it should be, and it completely beats out the I-11 while standing move. Yeah.
When stuff like that happens, I win, and when I'm shaking their hand, I like, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, right.
I've said sorry after winning matches, for real.
Yeah.
I remember we were in Bangkok, Leslie, and I remember
good times.
Yeah, it was good times indeed. And I remember it was what was it? It was the top 8, but there was an Akuma pick. There was a specific Akuma interaction against Kuma. And you use while standing 2 against Akuma into red fireball. And there's a reason for doing that in that matchup. Can you explain, can you just remind me what that is? Because it's a very character specific interaction.
So Kuma and bears, they don't have the ability to step the red fireball after blocking while standing 2. So which was that used to be the answer to it. Obviously half circle back 1 is now safe, so there's no need to step. But it's now -12. It's now -12. It's now unsafe. So no need to step. Yeah. But that was the answer to it. But since that in itself is powerful enough. But on Kuma, if you do while standing 2 into red fireball, the projectile itself will float without using any meter. So you can then dash and do it like a dash jab and get a full combo.
Oh, really?
So it was a safe mid launcher for Akuma, and he doesn't really have many of those. Well, he doesn't have any of those without jumping outside of meter usage. So
because he's so big that the fireball travels underneath and it just
still clips him. Yeah.
Right.
And you can have a full combo. Yeah. I mean, there was a way around that. Of course, you could use Power Crush to interrupt the fireball, but that was a risk in itself.
Because here I'm thinking with my low IQ brain that the Akuma matchup might actually be in Kuma's favor because he's tall, he can jab him, and he has little bare legs, so it might be hard to clean hit the down 3. But any good Akuma player I talk to is like, nah, Akuma destroys Kuma.
No. Actually, I changed my mind on that recently. Now, Kuma's got an option that the Kuma players weren't using. I don't know if you know Tinky Boobies.
No.
He's a French, best name ever, I know. But he's a French player that plays Panda.
Okay.
He showed me an option that he found. Yeah, that fucks me up. That does change everything.
What is it?
I'm not gonna tell people. They're gonna start doing that. If you do back 3+4, the launcher where it just hits you his hind legs.
Yeah.
High crushes and launches. And you can't really do much because it'll interrupt the slower moves that might hit him, and it'll crush the highs, which are the fast options.
Is that from while standing 2? You mean, or
in general? If he's fast,
right.
In general, off of while standing 2 for sure. But if he times it well, in general, it works. Because there's good things about the Kuma matchups that involved jumping. Because big characters, if you jump into Demon Flip, you don't have to wait for the Demon Flip to start going down to grab them.
Of course, yeah.
You can just do it at the tip of the jump, which is super fast and very hard to react to, for an unblockable grab, right?
But I think
that's a problem.
the combo possibilities on Kuma are a bit absurd as well for Akuma.
There's some good things.
Yeah.
Plus 2, 4, 4.
Yeah.
Is it exclusively Kuma, or other big characters like maybe Marduk or even
Just
Kuma,
Just Kuma, yeah.
Just
Kuma.
For what, the combos?
Kuma exclusive
For the combos. Yeah.
There's something on Jack, but that's not too much.
Okay. Are there any other players we want to bring up? Maybe Chikurin, Book. Oh yeah, Atif. Yeah, we thought to talk about Atif.
Atif, I don't know how his mind works. Like, I can't read the man. Maybe it was because it was 4 a.m. and I had played for 30 hours already in 3 days or 2 at that point. But I could not get a read on him.
Unpredictable.
And he will punish everything, or whiff punish. But you can't whiff punish with Akuma normally. He does. Yeah.
Wow.
He doesn't have a problem with that.
What does he use to whiff punish?
2. He'll jump at good moments, but he doesn't jump a lot. His down 4 usage is very frequent, but very good.
Yeah, from what I've seen, he's just really good. He's just really good at locking people down with forward 4, and down 4. Like that seems to be like the main thing that he's.
His mind games are just great. There's not like I said, he's not an Akuma main really. He was maining Akuma because in season 3, that was the character to play. If you could early season 3, if you could play Akuma, you should play Akuma. And he did, and he could. So it worked out. But that's it. He just had a great mind game. So he was just locking people out because Akuma can be pretty good at that. It's risky, but it's effective. So doing it well is very troublesome.
How about, I've seen Book sometimes play Akuma. He has a pocket Akuma occasionally, and Chikurin, of course, plays Akuma. I mean, Geese is his main, but he does also have a pocket Akuma. Any notes?
Chikurin just played clean, really nothing special apart from one setup that I think I didn't see anyone do it before I did it, but it seems too obvious to say I made it. I don't think I made it. But like he was doing forward 3 into the new Power Crush. Because people were saying, oh, this new Power Crush, it's not that useful and it's kind of unsafe. But no, it's just that Akuma can be at minus frames, and now he doesn't have to spend a resource to take a risk and take his turn back.
Yeah. I think the backswing is really what makes that that Power Crush though. Because without that, I think it's not a great Power Crush. Well, it's a move that he didn't have before. He never had that sort of Power Crush option because only he had was
the backsway is nice. I did back 2, which is -9.
Yeah.
You can't Power Crush at -9, but he backswayed.
Yeah. Down forward 3, the 12 frame mid into Power Crush, that'll beat some jabs out because the backswing is so quick.
Yeah.
That's what makes the Power Crush, yeah.
And the range is good. So what's nice is they will like backdash and duck because they're waiting for you to crush their high with a sweep, even though you don't have the frames to press a button, and they'll just get hit by it. And the fact that it wall splats is good. But yeah, I know the Pakistanis don't like doing forward 3 into Power Crush or forward 4 into Power Crush. Like that new Power Crush, they don't really like it.
Right.
But I was using it, and I noticed Chikurin started using it. So, yeah, apart from that, which isn't common to all Akumas, he was just playing regular Akuma. Nothing too crazy. Just clean,
precise. I mean, out of all the players we listed, can we make a top 5? In your guys' opinions?
Was it top 5 or top 5?
Like top 5 Akumas in the world, players. Who are the best 5? Or let's rank them. I generally don't like ranking players, but I'm curious to hear your opinions.
I think Awais got to be number 1.
Awais.
Yeah. Awais number. Awais.
SuperAkouma like,
Exactly.
No, I didn't hear was Atif or Awais.
Awais, yeah.
Does Atif still play Akuma?
I think he doesn't. if we take him out because he doesn't play Akuma anymore, then yeah. But Awais, Farzeen, maybe Kashi Snake. Not very famous, but he was the guy who played against that Leo player and just tattooed away 4 times.
And then whiff baited with back turn 4 to get a float combo.
Right.
He did running free and just floated it.
yeah.
I played that guy. It was a crazy set. I don't think he's definitely not as good as the other 2, but he's good. And
he is, he's really good. Actually, he's well, I have contact with him, and he is sort of what inspired me to get better as well. He was one of the first. Well, he was one of the first Pakistani Akuma players that I come across before, Awais and Farzeen and all of these, and because of that time, there was not a lot of Korean Akuma sort of content or like sets or anything like that. That was only at the beginning of my Tekken career, really. And of course, I would take what I could get from SuperAkuma's tournament sets, but there's a YouTube channel still active now, Tekken Gurjan Vala, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, and that was like I think for me anyway, that was the start of this Pakistani Tekken.
That's the Gujarala is the city where Atif comes from.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Lahore is the biggest city for Tekken. Gujarala, I think, is the second.
Right. How close are they?
Then
anybody know? My geography's not very good.
It's worth the trip, but it's not that close.
Okay.
It's probably like an hour or 2 away, something like that.
Okay.
They occasionally do the trip, but.
I was just mentioning I would watch Kashi and I'd be like, this is how I want to play Akuma, So,
yeah, I think I'd say Awais, Farzeen, either me or Kashi for 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a huge difference between us. Like, we play drastically different, but I don't think I've got the tournament rep to gain ranks.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
But he beat me. And he's in Pakistan. Like, he can't have the tournament rep. It's not like he tried and just lost. He doesn't really get the opportunity too much.
That's true.
How could I forget? I mean, the Akuma I was talking about in the Akuma matchup was Bilal, wasn't it?
Bilal's Akuma. That was painful.
He plays a lot of characters. So he plays Brian is his main, but he also runs Devil Jin. Akuma.
Bilal's playstyle is so weird. I don't know what he does, man. Like, with all his characters, he's got a playstyle. It's really weird. It's good. It works. It's nice. And it doesn't look easy to beat or anything. Because some players, they look easy to beat. You play against him and then you find out it's not. Him, it's not that. But he's weird, man. Like, he's got weird timings. He'll just stop.
Yeah. He'll stop. Literally just stop. It's crazy.
He's just really arrhythmic.
Yeah.
You know what? If I got to put Bilal in there, then I'd say Awais, Farzeen, Bilal, then me, then
I'd agree with that top 5. Yeah.
I actually I interviewed Bilal I interviewed Bilal in Bangkok, and I asked him, why do you just stop sometimes in the middle of a match? Like, it's like Bilal.exe stopped working. Like it crashed or something. But he said it's literally just to throw off the timing. It's surprising. It's you don't expect it.
Yeah.
So, like, because people, like, you think high-level Tekken's constant movement, in and out, sidestep here, sidestep there. I'll just chill out here. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, I do stuff like that. Sometimes I just walk forward into my opponent.
Yeah.
Like, I've walked forward and just blocked a hop kick and like, okay, you're playing against a Kuma, right?
That's something I sometimes do with Steve, actually, in Peekaboo. Just walk forward. You're an auto block. So you'd be surprised how much, like, if you block it, and you'll have frame advantage often, or you might even get a punish. I mean, it's unexpected. It's unexpected.
As if Akuma wasn't unexpected enough, then you've got tactics like this.
Yeah, right. It's another tool in your arsenal.
Yeah.
Let's talk a bit about how Akuma has changed over the years, over the seasons. I mean, generally, he's just mostly been nerfed since he was brought in. I mean, as we mentioned, Fainted Retribution Akuma was absolutely insane. He got nerfed a bunch until season 1. Season 1 to season 2 Akuma, he got some decent buffs. I remember you can now they made the red fireball safe in season 2.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it was safe.
It was.
No,
They-
it was-
you can combo into it. You
it
can
was-
combo into it. That's right.
Yeah.
Wasn't it unsafe because it knocked down? I think that was what it was, and they made it -9.
Yeah. No, that's right. I think.
I don't think it was unsafe.
I think it was unsafe because it knocked down, right?
Yeah, I knocked down. I don't think it was unsafe. Maybe. It was a trash move and no one used it. So
Yeah, there was no.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, and the Demon Flip 1 change and
That was-
Forward
that was
2 and
incredible,
Forward 2-1.
That's the
Was
change.
442-1
that
season 2?
changed everything.
Well, that
Yeah.
season 2 was wall bounce, right? So
Yeah.
So season 1 to season 2, he got some good buffs. Season 2 to season 3, he also got a few decent buffs to his neutral.
Oh yeah, I thought okay, fair enough. Just the
but-
chat mentioned it was safe. Yeah. I knew that there would be somebody in the chat mentioning that it was safe. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
No worries. And then in season 3, ever since he started winning tournaments regularly, he's been, progressively, regularly, steadily nerfed. Ever since he became this huge tournament threat presence, and everyone started complaining about him on Twitter and whatnot. Are these nerfs justified?
Yeah, fine.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Because early season 3, they experimented with something. They tried to he's always this balance of crazy damage and explosiveness, but bad neutral and bad tools in general. They're bad, but if you get hit, you'll die, right? So they tried to lower the damage and give him a better neutral to see if that evens it out in a way people enjoy more.
Right.
The problem is that they kind of broke that balance because the damage is still relatively high. You don't get death combos off of everything now. Like now, if you get a death combo, they pretty much asked for it. Before, it kind of happened. Now it's really specific. And they just tried giving him better tools but less damage to just see what happened. And the problem is giving him better tools but still having all the options he had was a bit too much.
Right.
So now what they're doing is nerfing his big damage stuff while not touching what made his neutral better. Because forward 3 is an amazing game changing of a nerf. Like forward 3 is you had to use it before because his range is poor, but it was bad. It was -7 on block, I want to say, before, and +1 on hits.
I believe it was -9, although I could be wrong. Most of his moves were -9, right?
I was hesitating between 7 and 9.
Yeah.
And it was only +1 on hits. Now it's -4 and +7.
Yeah.
So now if you poke with it, you do actually get some decent advantage off of it. Because basically before, the only thing you could do is a jab. And then everything else could get beaten.
Right.
Now it's an actual decent poke that goes quite far. And that changed a lot. The down forward 1-2 frames are good, but not much of a change. The fact that they're closer, you still can't get a clean hit, so it doesn't make that much of a difference. Forward 4 does a lot more damage now. I know GoukiAkuma was complaining because it's less wall carry, but it's more damage.
Forward 4?
Yeah. The new counter hit properties.
I'm pretty sure now it gives more wall carry because you can screw rather than instant screw.
The instant screw send them so far in the first place, and you could fit in more dash jabs.
Well, I suppose your dash jabs come before your screw now in forward 4 combo you do forward 40 counter hits, you do a sidestep, and then get dash jabs.
Okay. I have never complained about that. I was like, more damage in a normal counter hit that's much easier to convert off of, I'll take it.
Well, no, I complained because, before I saw the move, because it said the properties on counter hit had changed. I thought they were just taking it away. So,
like everyone expected nerfs. I was scared, but yeah. And also, forward 4, it was the same thing as forward 3. It was like -9 on block, and it was your only fast homing option that was safe. And they made the frames on block decent. Like -4 isn't great, but it's not bad. So now he has a good homing option and a good mid poke, and that's sort of all he was really missing. So they completed his kit. Even though you lowered the damage, you completed the character, which means the balance was sort of shaky between damage and shit tools. Sort of got a bit too high.
Right.
Well, I think the identity of the character really got switched from Season 2 to Season 3 with, the nerfs particularly. Because, even actually the buffs of making, back 1 hit, making the opponent land closer after back 1 hits so that you can land Demon Flip 3. Because that gave you more damage over the long run, really. Like, it was more consistent, at least.
Yeah, that was...
So you could argue that it was easier to pick up as a character. Right. Which was not what I saw the character as. I never thought that I would play a character who would be made easier for the user. Well, Akuma anyway, and he would have very specific Akuma like tools taken away, like Key Charge Demon. I really, I dislike that they've done that. And they'd also take away the spike from down forward 1-2 at the wall and forward 1+2 at the wall, and stuff like that, which made Akuma's 50-50 archetype so strong. But then if you're going to take away what makes Akuma, and try to add these neutral tools by increasing frames on hit and decreasing your disadvantage on block, and it's just stuff like that. Without really going as far as to make the character. Well, here's how I see it. So I think it's like season 1 to season 2 Geese or something like that, or where they completely changed his, or the Geese nerfs. Okay, the Geese nerfs where they made Geese into a Tekken character, or rather than sticking with his 2D archetype character. If you're going to, that's the direction they could have taken. They could have took with Akuma, but I don't think they either went far enough. But they also they didn't. I suppose it's more like if you're going to nerf Akuma and try to make him a second character, go all the way rather than taking away what makes him so unique and leaving him with the version we have now. Because I still think season 2 Akuma's the best version, or is my favorite anyway. Maybe that's my style, but I still think season 2 Akuma's the strongest we've had, even though it was difficult to combo from back 1 against most characters, which was what his damage came from. And there was other issues as well, but obviously meter gain as well. But that was a huge, that was a big deal in season 2. That was probably too strong. But just what made Akuma so special is now not there anymore. In my opinion, anyway.
I think that's a bit much.
No,
it's still quite.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's because I use Akuma as because I can't use any of the character, right? So,
I said, he's a crazy combo maker.
Yeah.
He's not as much of a tournament clean player than some other people. I can understand that's more your style. That's more what you enjoy. That's subjective. I'll say this for the tools you mentioned. I never used Danford 1-2's 50-50. A lot of people told me, "Oh, you should use it. It's great." They have to roll back, and if they don't roll back, you get a resplat.
Yeah,
it's like that's not how I want to play. That's not what I do. I know some people use that, but I'm like, nah. Give me guaranteed damage, and when they tech or don't tech, I still have a mix-up. I don't need a canned mix-up to make a mix-up.
Right.
Because if you do that, you put them in a mix-up.
Yeah, no, of course, right?
Okay, give me my damage, and we'll see how you wake up, and then there's the mix-up. That's for me. The problem with that is that on the floor break stage, it doesn't break the floor correctly, and you have nothing that breaks the floor well, and your combo is now shit on Forgotten Realm.
That's pretty bad, yeah.
Like,
you can still use running 3, or like Demon Flip 2.
So inconsistent.
But yeah, it is inconsistent, right?
Like, because it's so slow, and the range and stuff. Terrible.
Sometimes you're breaking, and then you're behind the opponent and stuff like that.
Yeah, like it's that's just, but that's one stage in the game, so it's not too bad. As far as Key Charge Demon, I loved it as well. I used it plenty, but I can understand why they took it away. I don't understand. I don't understand, honestly. Unblockable Rager.
I think they should have kept it. It was hilarious.
It was hilarious, and I loved using it. I really did. I do miss it every day. I'm on. I got a post on my wall that says,
yeah.
It's an unblockable Rager.
I think people
you can do from so far away.
For the chat, can you explain, guys? Because some people in the chat are a bit confused about. So can you explain about Key Charge?
Leslie.
Oh,
yeah. Tell us about your love.
Yeah, right. So I'm not sure the mechanics of how it works, but in season 2 and previous seasons of Tekken 7, when you key charged and you were in a close enough range to the opponent, the Raging Demon actually became inescapable by conventional means such as jumping. Characters with a non-universal jump like 2D characters could still avoid it, but for some reason the key charge property of your character of Akuma made it so that they couldn't access the jump back frames of avoiding the Raging Demon, so it would guarantee to hit them. But it's interesting though, because if 1-1 hits on counter hit, well, even back then, if 1-1 hit on counter hit, you could still avoid it by holding up back. So it wasn't the fact that it was a counter hit which made it inescapable.
It was key
for some reason, the key charge.
A bit of a.
I don't understand how it worked.
Because you'll notice in training mode, if you do it, there'll be like this exclamation point.
Yeah.
An unblockable move.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
But you have to be grabbed by it. But it's not a grab. It is a hit. And the thing is, if you win key charge, what would happen is the game would register a counter hit and be like, well, you can't have a counter hit if it didn't hit.
Oh, yeah.
And it would just grab you. And it was just like a logic coding thing.
I thought they'd my theory was that they'd hard coded it in to stop option selects, because they don't want you to be in the middle of. What they didn't want was for people to just press buttons to get out of. So they didn't want you to be able to just do high crush moves, right? To just do like Lars up forward 4 or whatever at any point during a Raging Demon. So they programmed it so that like if there's a hit state property, like then the demon will grab you. But if you're just jumping without attacking, then nothing will happen. So you couldn't. So I thought that like the key charge was bypassing the ability to like, because they didn't want option select buttons that you could just press on reaction to get out a demon.
Some characters can do that though still.
Yeah, there's still a ton of weird shit.
Yeah.
Can Dragunov still low parry it?
No, I don't think that's it.
What was that? Dragunov low parrying it?
Can Dragunov still low parry it?
Low parry what?
Raging Demon. I'm sure he could just low parry Raging Demon at some point.
He just stood there
he just stood there in manual low parry animation, and then
yeah.
I've never seen that before.
No. Because when they fixed the key charge, I think they also fixed moves like that.
Oh, you mean like how Steve would be in Peekaboo and avoid it?
They buffed that.
Yeah.
That's inescapable now.
But anyway, so what there were a bunch of setups for the key charge demon where you could just key charge the classic one, which Rickstah did against someone. I can't remember. You just key charge, do EX hurricane kick,
full screen,
and and then buff a Raging Demon once you land.
People used to think that the actual EX Tatsu was what made the demon inescapable, but that's just too close distance, right?
Yeah.
To make it so that they're not going to press to interrupt your Raging Demon.
Some people thought it was plus frames on Demon, it's not even that. If you whiffed and you were close enough, you couldn't jump.
Well, yeah, some setups where you would do like a Shoryuken in the middle of your combo, FADC it, and then hope that they tech rolled, and then you could align yourself to where if they tech roll, you're in key charge. Well, so you do the Shoryuken, you key charge. Well, you do the Shoryuken, you FADC, then you key charge. They're high enough to where you can key charge, and if they tech roll, you're not vulnerable, and then you can actually go into Raging Demon, and they don't have the space to avoid it. Like they are guaranteed to get hit. I remember winning a set like that in tournament. That was quite hype.
The way to avoid the Raging Demon was to jump to jump early.
Yeah. Before the Raging Demon activated.
I actually did, with my training partner, because we played so much, I actually key charged, did the EX Tatsu, and just didn't do the rage out. Key charge demon is fun, but it's an unblockable rage out. You can't have that.
I think you should. I think it's cool.
Yeah,
I think people should like. It looks.
I'll take it for sure.
People should have things which look cool. Like he charges up, and then he does Raging Demon, and that looks cool, and so it should be in the game.
And his arms have still got those key charge effects on them as he's doing it. That's so cool. Yeah.
But yeah, so we were talking a bit about the nerfs in like the more recent versions of Tekken, and the weird thing is when these first came out, people said
nerf. So recently, meter nerf and damage nerf on down 4, and
so there weren't like every time there haven't been many, but they've steadily sort of added up. So I think first it was meter nerf, then it was more recovery on down 2, minus 14 fireball.
Yes.
What were the other ones?
Heavy Tatsu.
Minus 15 heavy Tatsu was earlier, right?
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
What were the other ones? Forward 4 doesn't launch anymore on counter hit. Down 4, tone down on damage.
Half circle back 1, minus 12.
Red fireball,
and red fireball.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it's quite a lot
as well. That's very, very annoying for me.
Oh, is this the EX fireball?
EX fireball.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
He just goes, I've had him shoot it to the side. Like slightly to the side. Like one will hit and the other one just won't. Like,
I don't know the theory behind that change, honestly.
How he was before. And that was listed nowhere. I lost in tournament because I lost a round in tournament because of that.
Hardly anyone ever uses EX fireball either. It's cool. Things that look cool should.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's still usable.
Yeah.
Depending on which point in your jump you do it, it doesn't work as well. Because if you do it at the tip of your jump, he shoots them in exactly the same place. You'll get double the damage, but the point of having 2 fireballs is the first one hits, there's a delay, you hit the ground, the second one hits, and you have the plus frame.
Yeah.
If they both hit at the same time, you just get damage and that's it. You don't get your guaranteed hit, which is the only reason to use it. If you do it later in the jump, it's okay. But sometimes, depending on where you are, you want to do it higher up because it will go further.
Yeah.
No, it won't.
I guess maybe they wanted to stop all the supers. I don't think any of this stuff is remotely practical. Maybe they just wanted to stop.
I did it once at the low high.
Yeah. Do they want to stop people punishing hellsweeps with Tiger Knee EX fireballs? Because that shit is impossible. That shit is really hard.
No, that was never possible because it would still be jumping as you did it.
No, it's not.
I've seen.
No. It's not Tiger Knee.
Yeah.
It's you have to jump and you do it at a specific time, but it's not Tiger Knee. You do it Tiger Knee, he does the double and it does like a rocket jump.
Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah.
It's just a very specific point in the jump. It's very hard to do, but it's not a Tiger.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no one ever did it because it was impossible. It was you had to have.
You could do it on debug. Debug is okay.
Yeah.
There's better options for debug.
Yeah, you could just do. We could just do jumping or whatever.
The best one, if you want to do the biggest damage, is you walk forward a bit or you walk back. I think you walk back. You do 2 harder. The harder will travel really far because you grab this hitbox and you can fit in a charged up focus attack.
Like instead of doing FADC after the fireball, you hold down the focus to input and go for a level 2 focus
attack. You hit him with the focus. You don't
yeah.
And that's pretty cool because after the focus,
it's still unscaled.
If you did the regular juggle, you might as well just hit him with a focus, but you can do a wall bounce. After focus, which is way more damage.
Well, I was going to mention that there are still the number of quite useless moves that Akuma has. I mean, I could mention just EX Tatsu, the grounded version.
Useless.
Nobody's going to use that. And well, in fact, you could argue that it has some use in very niche situations. But even then, like as a block punisher, for instance. But even then, if you're blocking something, you're holding back, and if you input QCB input with 3+4, you teleport backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no Dinosaur. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's not just no use to it. There's also no utility, right? You can't.
You can use it. You can use it to punish you can't use it to punish lows, but you can use it because if you're holding down back, you get the teleport, as far as I remember. But if you block a mid, so basically it's useful for one thing, which is when you block a max range mat kick, and I can't think of anything else. And you want to spend meter for a terrible juggle.
Yeah, exactly.
Mat kick.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's you don't need to do that. You can DP, can't you?
I'm pretty sure that reach. Well, isn't Max? Well, I'm not going to try and argue with the Brian main, but isn't max range mat kick -9?
-10.
It might be sometimes, but like
the problem is I've stopped doing it because it's not always -10. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
It is pretty much almost all the time. Like it might be everything in this game tends to have some kind of like more than one or two, but like
it's consistent enough, but bar is precious now.
Yeah, I mean, also the combo is absolutely atrocious.
Well, its recovery got buffed where it would recover faster on hit, but that's still not enough. Like you would have to have, I mean, to make that move useful, you'd have to have so many changes to where, well, even in my opinion, you have to change how it's inputted because if you're holding back to block and then you quickly input QCB, the way that Akuma's inputs work, you can do back QCB, you can do back then QCB to input a teleport, even though the input is, back, down, back, 3+4. You can still have that extra back input and then receive like a teleport input.
There's a way around that, but it's not worth it. If you do forward QCB,
right, yeah.
Your execution has got to be on point. But the move is just a trash move. You were saying mat kick. If you do down jab DP, if it is -9, it'll get blocked. And
sometimes the low jab will miss.
If
amazing.
Gets blocked. Yes.
True. Yeah. If the EX Tatsu gets blocked, yeah.
But sometimes it's when the low jab's gonna miss is the main thing.
Normally,
because the low jab misses.
If you just do DP and you don't do down jab DP, you shouldn't have that range issue for mat kick. You should.
I'm pretty sure everyone's mat kick misses sometimes on mat kick, but.
Well, for the most part,
too specific.
Down one is the shortest range. Light DP is like the second. I say at the middle range, and then EX Tatsu has the longest range out of those options. Out of those I-10 options.
Down 4 and I block a mat kicks.
Right. Yeah. Just take your plus frames.
Yeah. Anyway, so we were talking about nerfs, and yeah, I think they're all fine. I think one of the things they wanted to take away some of is, like, more recently, I think they needed to do something about Red Fireball, because I'm not sure if I like them making it unsafe, but there was something going on there, because the whole thing of being able to do right punch, Red Fireball, and then just hit confirm the focus attack, it was a bit much. Like, I know you can sidestep the fireball and all that stuff, but it's just a bit much.
Maybe if they could have made it easier to sidestep, I mean...
Yeah, something like that. Forward 4, again, like, the forward 4 down 4 mix-up is too much. It's just a bit too hard to get around. If you're playing someone who just wants to, like, forward 4 or down 4 you, it's actually surprisingly hard to get out of that without just mashing buttons. Like, and Also, this was one of the things I think that makes Atif good, or at least one of the ways that he was able to make the game work, is that, like, I remember there was some match of him where he was playing like Chanel, I think it was, and the commentators were praising how good Chanel's lateral movement was. He was playing some female character. I can't remember who it was, probably Alisa. But the way that sidestep works in this game is that you get, as you sidestep, you get wrapped into the opponent. And if you try and sidestep forward, forward, 4 at range, specifically at range, as the opponent dashes into you, if they do dash down 3, the down 3 will hit you clean, and the Akuma can react to the clean hit on reaction because they can see the sidestep animation. And you guys will do this all the time. Like, it's something every Akuma player will do instinctively. You do as you learn the character. And so, like, so the commentators were like, "Oh, look at his amazing lateral movement. He's sidestepping really well." And then every now and again, he'd just sidestep and he'd just die instantly to down 3, dash down 3 from range. So, like, I understand why they've hurt forward 4 specifically, because that mix-up, it was a bit too rewarding.
For forward 4, I think I've heard all the Akuma mains cry about that move being nerfed.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I'm okay with that. I never used it because it was a counter hit. The counter hit was always a nice bonus, but I never thought of using it, or I'm going to counter hit him right now. It's slow as fuck. Use something else if you want to counter hit.
No, I used it for the damage potential you could get out of it. Like, you get 70 plus damage easily.
I just used it to lockdown, like we were saying.
Right.
You don't need the counter hit to make them, because it's a counter hit. It doesn't make them scared to duck or stand up. It's just if they're mashing. And I don't know. I don't think that removing the counter hit properties makes people want to mash more. I think it doesn't really change anything. It just takes away a damaging option from him, which makes him more fair. But it does not affect the Akuma, at least in my case, the Akuma player's actual game plan. Just keep playing. There's one less opportunity for damage, but it wasn't one that was necessary to win. It was a good one, but it wasn't necessary to the strategy.
Well, I think the issue is with forward 4. I think taking away the counter property is, I mean, it's not something that I like, but I can see it's balanced in some senses. But to keep the properties same now on counter hit and on normal hit seems like something that they haven't considered fully, or it either seems lazy or quite quite, I don't know. Like, I
think it's okay. I think it just makes the tool more specialized.
You think so?
I think one of the reasons why Atif was the best at using like forward 4 and down 4 and stuff is that he wasn't an Akuma main, and I think it's honestly one of the reasons why he doesn't play Akuma anymore. But like, maybe, I think that mix up is a kind of, it was that way of playing forward. I think that for me, that's not a very kind of Akuma expressive way of playing. I'm not happy to. I'm fine. I mean, it's still there. The basic mind game is there. It's just the down 4 will do less damage, and the forward 4 won't launch on counter hit. But back 2's still there. Like back 2's,
underrated.
Like, I think back 2 is now the it just takes a bit more of the burden as far as the mid range mids go.
Well, back 2 is really good. Yeah, you're right.
Well,
I just wish they would have knocked down on counter hit rather than being exactly the same on regular hit.
The problem is you can't have it knocked down because you will get a combo at the wall if it knocks down.
So why is that a bad thing? I think that's a really good thing, actually.
People still complain that
you can get a combo with Demon Flip 1 hitting at the wall. You can get a combo with Demon Flip 1 hits on normal hit at the wall.
Yeah, that's Demon Flip 1. That's not forward 4.
No, but it's still a very strong move in its own right. It's sometimes uninterruptible. So,
but Demon Flip 1 is an Akuma move, so it should
true.
Like,
true.
It should do good things. Like, but I just think like forward 4. It's a move that almost any other character would have. Like, it's just Akuma has a good version. Like, I think so. I think it's not like an identity move for him. For me,
like most characters that have a similar move don't have as good properties. Or now they have better ones because on counter hit, it should give you like more plus frames on counter hit. That would look better. Because now, when you get the counter hit, it just feels like there's something missing. Like the counter hit now just doesn't feel right.
There is that hit spark. There's that hit spark there, but it doesn't. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't feel the same.
Like a knockdown or something? Would you prefer? Would you prefer?
Well, I'd like a knockdown, but
I think a knockdown would sort of make the move as good as it was before, almost. So
my instinctive reaction.
I'd be happy with a knockdown. Like buff my character. Like I want him buffed.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's necessary. Is what I mean. But it looks like change the animation. Do something because it just looks wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had people tell me that as well. Like when they get hit by it, like I'm happy I don't get comboed by it. It does feel much better to not get comboed by it when it happens, but it doesn't look right. There's a problem.
Yeah, they could have it like be something which gives you a lot of plus frames, like a non-comboable knee stun, like like he was 4 and 4 on his Heihachi's 4 and 4, like something like that, but you can't combo from it. There's been stuff like that in the past. I don't know if it's still there at the moment, or like, or maybe just like a flop stun. So that you know, like Feng's thing, but that would look too weird. I don't know.
Yeah, the problem is the animation of the move doesn't open up other animation.
That's true. Yeah.
I think Neil stun would work okay but yeah. Anyway, do we want to talk matchups?
Well, I just want to ask, like, so, in light of all these nerfs, do you still think he's? I mean, there was a time where everyone would say Akuma's unquestionably the best character in the game. Is that still the case?
Now he's questionably the best character.
That's probably true. Yeah,
that's what I'd say. Now he's much more balanced, and there's a big problem: the perception of Akuma. It's like when I hear people complain about Akuma, it really feels like they're taking all the peaks he's had and putting all the peaks together. Like they're not taking in any of the nerfs that ever happened. They're taking when each move at its best time, what it's done. It's like I still get linked the combo I did to Chikurin. That does not do nearly as much damage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sure, it would still do quite a bit, but the situations for me to have the bar aren't the same. I might not have used 2 bars. I might not have killed him after the low parry. And like, there's loads of different factors that could have played in, and I might have lost that round. But
it shouldn't be low parrying toe kicks anyway, especially not in that situation.
That particular clip,
it looks cool. We said if it looks cool, I should do it.
Well,
I know.
You know exactly why I shouldn't low parry in that situation, but
because of bugs.
Yeah, right.
Well, I always found it a bit sad how that clip of you against Chikurin sort of became like the example of why Akuma should be taken out of Tekken. I always thought it was cool as hell. I mean, it was a perfectly timed jump with an incredibly hard combo, like, and the cherry on top is the low parry. I mean, I thought it was hype, but and there's so many things had to fall into place for that to work.
I've had much more positive feedback from that clip. Like it has been used as propaganda fuel for getting him removed, but I've had much more positive
feedback
reviews of that.
Yeah.
Well, jumping over Jin's down forward 1 is not actually easy. Like I've tried it, and you got quite lucky.
But like I said earlier, when I jump,
exactly.
I jump over anti-hits. I was playing Schrodinger yesterday. I jumped over King's running grab. Trust me, you don't do that. I don't know. I just have magic jumps, but it looks so natural when I do it. And that's the I make the character's jumps look broken.
It was over a forward 4, wasn't it? It was over. Was it down forward 1?
It was down forward 1. Yeah.
That's down forward 1. It was down forward 1. Okay.
CBM suffered the forward 4s.
Right.
And again, I will challenge people to try and jump over forward 4. It does anti-air. But not if you jump at the exact right time.
Exactly, yeah.
So
it's very range specific as well.
Just a quick question. I mean, on the topic of questionably best characters, we've talked about this a few times on the podcast, but Akuma, Leroy, Jin, Steve, Paul. I mean, that's my personal top 5. I mean, would you guys disagree?
I need more time to reconsider Leroy, because like I said, these nerfs, when I played him, they felt much worse than they did on paper.
Right.
So I just need more time. I would have agreed otherwise, but I need more time. Let me bring up my tier list so I have examples of what I did.
Yeah, I mean, Arslan's saying Fakumram is top, and then Phil is saying Fakumram is probably top. And his results are seeming to prove that he is top.
Yeah. Well, how far does the concept you can win with any character still apply in Tekken 7 now? Because obviously, we had a bear win finals, which people would have thought is the pinnacle of matchup. It doesn't matter about the matchup, right? It doesn't matter about tier lists. But how far does that actually apply today? Do you really think it's like you need to play top tiers to win? Well, we saw that with Evo Japan actually, didn't we?
Yeah, I'll say this: the people's perception has soured more than the game has.
Yeah.
And that is the real problem.
Yeah,
and like the game has not changed that much since season 2. It hasn't. But people, like, between the Akuma scandal, the Leroy scandal, the tracking hellsweep, it's just a lot of blows to the community. And the problem is that the people that are vocal about the game being good are always going to be lower than the people complaining. And if you put fuel on people complaining, you will lose some of the people who say the game's good, and you'll get way more people complaining. Even though the numbers are actually quite more people enjoy the game than dislike it, but you will hear much more complaining at all times, and excessively now. Like, anyone can win with any character. You might have a slight advantage, but some people take pride in playing characters that aren't top tiers. And this Tekken, even now, is still much more balanced and less matchup centric than 2D games. Have you seen a zone like Minat against Zangief in Street Fighter? Like, it's not even about tier list anymore. It's just unplayable.
No. That's nature of the beast, though, with 2D games. I mean, they're much more matchup based.
That's part of the appeal, kind of. But it's, like I'm saying, Tekken that has a lot less of that. Everything is much tightly balanced.
Oh yeah, and season 3, I think, when it first came out, was the most balanced version of Tekken, despite what a lot of people will say. I think. I mean, just season 2, Steve, I think was a bit absurd. And
we played about 6 Leroys at Evo Japan, but Evo Vegas had 6 Steve or 5 Steves.
Yeah. And I'm saying this as a Steve main, we've always said on this channel that Tekken is supremely well balanced, and by and large, it's gotten better since the console release. And we haven't shied away from criticism either when it's warranted, but I think a lot of the negativity stems from just outrage culture, which is unfortunate, but it's it's the times we live in, I guess.
But it's very easy now to be like that, especially with the prevalence of social media and Twitter in particular.
Yeah.
It's very, very easy to be like that.
Yeah.
But there's also something about season 3. It is more balanced, but the direction they're taking the game with the balancing isn't what people find fun in Tekken,
right?
Compared to season 2, it's like a lot of characters, and I think too many characters got damage and wall carry buffs that didn't really warrant it. It didn't really make the character more interesting or better.
Jin, in particular,
it makes it a bit more balanced, but it doesn't make it more fun. So I think Josie absolutely needed a wall carry and damage buffs. And I think they're a great addition that brings Josie in the upper tiers. But like, Nina's running 3-4 basically you tailspin at the very first hit of your combo on VIII systems at the wall, and you do running free fall, you'll get the other wall. Right? It will send you that far. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, right? But that doesn't make the character more fun or interesting. But it makes her better, but it doesn't make her more fun. And that's the problem with Season 3. It is more balanced, but in some aspects, it homogenized characters in a way that wasn't fun. It wasn't as fun. The game is still great. I love it. And I think most people deep down, they do. But yeah, the balancing, some characters didn't need what they got. Unlike, I think Josie's the best example of getting the same buffs as everyone else, but she's the one who actually needed it. It's like, who else got a huge... Jin. Jin didn't need the Zen 1-3. Now, he puts no skill into his combos, and he always has a wall. He did not need Zen 1-3. Like with a lot of these wall carry things, I don't think they actually. The thing is, they don't actually affect the wall carry like that much. Like Jin Zen 1-3 is like he was mostly. It's more of a height thing than an actual distance thing, and it's mostly used for like the only time it really changes his wall combo is like after a really. I think it's after like a really deep balcony break, like after.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
but like. Because I think the main problem with Season 3 is just that it's not like necessarily that the wall carry things changed a lot of characters, because Nina still had super long wall carry before, and she's got super long wall carry now. The problem is that like Season 3, a lot of the changes felt like they didn't do anything. Like the only thing they did was like some tiny. It was like I think they were like, okay, people liked Season 2, let's keep the changes in Season 3 like. You know, it'll be something that you can show in a clip on Twitter, basically. Right. But like, like you said, there's no creativity involved in the changes in Season 3. They're not like the Season 2 to 3 changes, where you actually got different ways of playing characters.
Everyone got the same height change in their wall combo. That's what I'm saying. Like it's like Nina got one, Dragunov got one, even though game. It's like Julia already had it, but that was specific to Julia.
Yeah.
Now, too many characters get the easy high walls.
Yeah.
And it's not as... If everyone can do it, it takes away from the one who originally had it, and it just makes your character feel like another character.
Yeah, I think most of the long wall carry characters now are still the... Like, I don't think anyone... Like, the tier list of wall carry has changed. It's just that, like... Like, the changes were just super, like... They were just cosmetic. They were mostly just for Twitter clips. Like, none of them have actually... Like, it's not like... You're not going to come into it like a Claudio Season 1 to Season 2 main, and you're not going to be like, oh shit, I can't wait to try all this stuff out. Well, it's going to be like, oh yeah, like I have 2 new combos I can do. Or like, I can now get further on this stage than I used to, or I can get a higher wall splat. That's not interesting.
Yeah.
Season 1 to Season 2 saw some characters get some drastic revisions. Claudio, as you mentioned, Leo. Whereas Season 2 to Season 3 was a lot more conservative, generally. I mean, but more boring as well. But I don't think
I'd agree. Yeah.
They're more in the vein of refining what was already in place with Season 2. But as you mentioned, SuperAkouma, a lot of the changes do also serve to homogenize, and they're just not particularly interesting. A bit creatively.
Everyone talks about balance always, but balance isn't what makes a game fun.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We were talking about Marvel 2 earlier. One of the best fighting games of all time, considered by a lot of people. I don't personally like it. I like to watch it, but I don't like to play it. But it's considered one of the best of all time. That game's balancing it's absolute trash.
Like 8 viable characters. Yeah.
Street Fighter 3 was plagued with 3.3 was plagued with Yun and Chun-Li. Yeah, everyone loves that game. What makes a good game isn't balance. You shouldn't forget balance, but that's not what makes a game fun. Like Leroy needed to be emergency fixed, right? But that doesn't mean you should make Gigas suddenly top tier.
Well, the thing about Leroy's situation specifically is because there was a huge tournament,
that's so
quite soon after he was released. I mean, if it was maybe a few months or like 6 months after Leroy was released and he maintained his strength, I don't think we would have seen that many in Evo Japan because people would have found out methods of how to fight him. But because that time wasn't available, because he was a strong character and he had the tools which make him a strong character, then he was, it was prevalent in the top 8.
And also, there's rumors, and if you read the name of the patch, and some of the statements made by Mari, which were quite vague but sort of allude to a fact, is that this patch was supposed to come before Evo Japan. Like the name of the file is something like December 2019. And he said, we can't make the patches come out at the same time on every platform that easily by clicking our fingers. We can't just bring out a patch because we need a patch. And they knew, they might have, after people played around with it, they must have seen, oh shit, this is going to happen, tried to fix it, and it could not happen in time.
Blocked by legal reasons, perhaps. Yeah.
They got blocked by legal reasons. And Evo Japan would have not had that bad of a Leroy.
Yeah.
If the balance team could have done what they wanted. It's weird that it came out that strong, but he should have been.
That's interesting, like he came out that strong.
I said this at the time. I thought Leroy coming out as ridiculously busted as he did at the time for like a week or two would have been kind of fun. It's your new boss character, learn to deal with it, like Ip Man. But the problem is it carried on to Evo Japan. And that's when Leroy kind of became a menace, really.
I'm 100% sure they intended for it to just be fun for a week or two and then to fix it. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Like the statements I read and all the evidence I've seen, it's just they just couldn't patch it when they wanted to patch it, and they just add this thing that was just supposed to be fun into the competitive side.
Right.
Well, that's a good sort of topic because is it more focused on the competitors or the audience, right? Because the audience is going to want to see, amazing sort of characters or like properties which are busted maybe, like Geese's down 1 on counter hit and stuff like that, right? That was interesting to the audience who didn't play it too seriously because you could get a death combo from an I-10 counter hit jab, right? But then you've also got to focus on the competitors who make a living out of this game, and that is it really fair to have these sort of like properties for the moves if it can actually be the difference between winning lots of money and losing sort of thing, right?
It's not just that. It's we are part of what makes this game look good. We play at its highest level, and we inspire more people to buy the game and to enjoy it and to train, to stick with the series. That's why the Tekken World Tour is supported. It's because it sells. Having the Tekken World Tour is good.
It's a huge marketing campaign, effectively. And just look at the fighting scene at the moment. With offline tournaments gone, like, it's really clear how this entire genre was held up by tournaments and competitors. And I think there should be a wake-up call, really, to developers. I talked about this with Margin Obama like 2 days ago. But yeah, this whole COVID situation, as tragic as it is, should be a wake-up call to developers that, like tournaments were kind of holding this genre up, and better netcode really, really is necessary if you want to see this genre survive in the future.
I think Tekken could do so much with what's possible, really, especially now. Like we can't, tournaments aren't a thing now. But I still think it could do so much to keep the community active and to keep this game, but the genre also, alive. Still, I think it could do so much. But I have my own personal ideas, such as maybe not like turbo mode online, but just some stuff that you have in like treasure battle, or like the mini games you have in treasure battle, such as like you can only deal damage if they're in the air, or do you have like half health or double damage or stuff like that. It'd be so interesting to play with your friends, because all we have now is just standard, games that we play. It's
Yeah.
and I
So
don't
much
think
more could be done.
that's enough. Yeah,
So much more could be done. I mean, on that note, what are your guys' thoughts on online Evo? How is that even going to work?
I thought it was a joke at first.
Not online Evo.
I thought it was a joke. Yeah.
Oh my god! Like I knew it was going to happen. It was obvious that Evo was going to get cancelled, and they were still going to use the Evo brand for something.
Yeah.
I saw it coming from a mile away, but when I actually read it, I just felt sad. It's like this, like because of the current state of online, I was just thinking, it's come to this. We've come to this. We're here. We're at the desolate wasteland of online Evo.
I read this hilarious tweet. Like, can't wait to see Evo finals JDCR versus Boner Dude 420. Like, snake edging him to death.
Yeah.
It's like I saw online Evo and I was like, okay, I got to enter an online tournament. I did so yesterday, and the 2 matches I lost were fucking full of lag. I did win one that was laggy as well, but we can't have this. Like, this isn't the game.
Yeah.
I can't play the real game.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, the main thing is that, like, if they actually start running major tournaments online for the wider player base, that might actually be an incentive for, like, because as you said, like, tournaments are marketing tools. It will not look particularly good for the Tekken team if they try and run a tournament online and it runs like shit and constantly punts people out of lobbies and does all of online Tekken's best tricks. So I mean, the best thing, like, obviously online Evo is just going to be a joke. Hopefully it's a funny one, but hopefully it's also like something which makes them say, wow, this looks really bad. We should fix this.
Wasn't Tekken World Tour online at one point? I'm pretty sure there was an online branch of it.
Doing that for a good reason.
Exactly right. Yeah, they stopped doing it, but it was online at one point, and
was
you
it?
would have thought that.
Like,
yeah.
In the first year?
The first 2 years, I had an online. It was worth less points, but there was an online region lock.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, SuperAkouma, you were in my pool, and I lost my game to get to you.
I remember. Like, no offense, but I lost the fucking curb. Like, Forgotten Realm, he did the pulse 2 throw, or what? No, which throw breaks the ground?
Down forward both punches? Yeah.
Like, and I couldn't throw break, and he just kept breaking the floor, and I kept dying. Like, I don't blame him for doing that. He had to do it. If I was playing Port, I'd have done the same. But like, I fucking lost to a cheap strat because I couldn't react fast enough, and sometimes there would be spikes, and even if I did react fast enough, it just wouldn't take in my input.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who I lost to in winners or losers. Like, I know I lost to Kirby at least. Shurdle won it. Right? Shurdle's good, but should Shurdle be winning Tekken World Tour events? Like I said, Shurdle's good. He beat me yesterday. Shurdle is good. Do you see? If you asked anyone who's going to win this Tekken World Tour event, who's answering Shurdle? Thank you. That's
Wow. Wow.
The guy's good, but he won because it was online.
Yeah.
Again, I won't say. I can't say enough. The guy's good, but yeah.
You got a funny way of showing it. Yeah.
I'm just watching the chat right now, but yeah, no shuttle at the moment.
Oh dear.
I want to quickly rewind the chat
I need
to
prep my grudge matches for the.
Oh yeah.
I need to lay the groundwork.
Just gonna have a queue of them lined up for when lockdown ends.
Yeah, I just casually say a snide remark about someone, and then there's 2,000 viewers on Twitch. Sorry for making this community move.
Clever guy.
I love him.
I want to kind of bring the conversation back to Akuma a bit, because there's an interesting question that Phil wrote. What do you think are the good and bad matchups for Akuma?
Okay, I want to start with bad ones is easier. Yeah. Eddie is really good against Akuma.
Okay.
Because like he can backdash so damn far, and Akuma has trouble punishing him. Like, if you don't wait after blocking the big sweep after back 1-4 whatever, like, if you don't wait, your while standing 2 whiffs occasionally. But in the heat of tournament pressure, you might just press 2
right,
and get messed up.
Yeah, I think I raised this on another, like, I've raised this before, like, Eddie Slippery Kicks has a completely unique block animation for no reason, like, for all sweeps.
But then
like,
some characters can, mash their while standing 2 or their while standing launcher, and it will always connect. But specifically, Akuma, it will whiff if you just.
Not very many characters can, to be honest.
Oh,
like,
fair enough.
Even like Kazuya's while standing 2 will miss a lot of the time, and that is very reliable.
Fair enough.
Up forward 3+4 into the low, while standing 4 whiffs sometimes. Like, why? What's a whiff? He's in you. He's behind your feet, and you do while standing forward, it'll whiff.
By the way, Shuttle has just joined the chat.
Hello, Shuttle. I'm just telling people you're so good.
He was just saying you're the best player, and you totally deserve to win Tekken World Tour.
Chanel and Kadoko got nothing on you, bro.
So, but we were talking about bad matchups for Akuma. So Eddie, hard to punish. Eddie, but a lot of characters have that problem.
Yeah, the while standing 4 whiffing on that low, not really though. He struggles to launch without a bar the Mirage, the down forward 3+4 launcher.
Yeah.
If you somehow block that, you can't launch it very easily, even though it's -20 something.
You just take forward 4-2-1 as your reliable punish, right?
Yeah, I just whiff a lot of time. Or I'll do down 4.
Yeah,
and also his backdash can make running free whiff.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's very good at whiff punishing Akuma, and he's got a 13-frame launcher, so you can't really do down forward 1-2
That's
or
true.
back 4.
Yeah.
Like, characters that move a lot, back 4's good to poke them out without taking the risk of down 4. Because usually what characters that use movement do, like Jack or Zafina, movement against Akuma. That's why I'm saying Jack. I'll get to Jack. They'll backdash out of range and duck, so that nothing will hit apart from maybe forward 4, but they will block the sweep. But if you try to do back 4, which is your longer range, safer option, Eddie can launch.
Well, I think back 4 is a good round ender as well. Akuma's, statue kick, and if you're going to use that to try and finish a round, and Eddie's on like he's in rage and he gets blocked, and the Eddie player's sharp, you're going to die for it pretty much.
Yeah, so that's Eddie. Then bad matchups. Or Jack. Let's just do Jack. You can't step his moves very easily when that's mostly the answer to beating Jack. He can anti-air you amazingly well. And the problem is, basically, if you try to jump over everything, most of his moves will anti-air you anyway. And if you're finally stuck to the ground because you're going, okay, jumping's not working, stepping isn't a very good option either, which leaves you with no real good option apart from just straight up guessing.
Then if you're gonna try and zone him out with fireballs, he can step one of them and then forward 1+2.
Yeah. Plus, Akuma doesn't generally get like worthwhile punishment on down forward 2.
Yeah, true.
It's not great.
Like, even after the buff of back 1, it's still difficult to hit the screw at like max range. Sometimes it's impossible. So, if you punish down forward 2, your I-14 back 1 is not going to be able to convert into a screw, all of the time. So
yeah, unless you do fireball nonsense, which is
exactly right. You got to spend meter for that. So that's in itself a bad part of the matchup. I think personally, apart from Jack being the one exception, the more dishonest the character is, in terms of Tekken, ideals and stuff like that, the better time they have against Akuma. So like Eddie, Ling, Zafina, they have a good way of making. Well, I think it's an important part because Akuma as a character does such a great job of controlling the game and making it so that the Akuma player plays their version of Tekken, right? Like you can't say if you're playing against Akuma, you're playing your game. Like if you're playing against Akuma, you're not playing Tekken. That's the main argument. But with dishonest characters such as Ling and Eddie, who can also play their version of Tekken,
like the turn stealers.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And characters will put you in unfamiliar situations. Maybe this is just me. I'm not too sure, but I think Akuma specialists who are comfortable and used to the idea of playing their version of Tekken, so much so that they're going to be against dishonest characters. I think that's an aspect which makes the matchup difficult.
I don't personally think that's it. It does happen to be these characters, but I don't think it's their quote-unquote dishonesty that does it.
Well, I just think Akuma is a really bad matchup against Akuma for that reason. I think the mirror is, it can be great, but it can also be really, really bad. Like there's no in between.
It's fun though.
Yeah, no, of course, but I think Akuma is one of Akuma's worst matchups.
Yeah, it can be. He can like jumping over fireballs and launching them. It's just that's always fun.
I think mostly it's just that like these are characters that whatever character you want, whatever character you're playing against them, you have to have a very specific game plan going in. So like if you're playing against Safina, you have to know how to punish her only move down 3, and that's going to change sometimes. And if you're playing against like Zhao Yu, like that you don't really have turns in this matchup. You have to play it almost entirely. You have to play it almost entirely as a match where you take a hit and then you're happy with that hit. I think probably Akuma just he probably roasts Zhao Yu, to be honest. Like just because he.
You think so?
No. She has tools that really shut him down.
AOP under fireball. That's rough.
If she messes up, though, you can do some stuff she doesn't expect. But if
it would be too easy to wait against her.
The thing is, no Ling player I've ever encountered has played the matchup correctly. I think it was maybe Sapito playing against Crespo, I believe, or Abel. He was doing things that no Ling was doing to me.
Yeah, but this is the greatest Ling player of all time.
If we're talking matchups, we've got to talk matchups at their best. Because
but I still don't think that Sapito's actually won. Like Sapito's won less in this game than he has like in like Tag 1.
But that's not matchup issues.
Well, I think nerfing red fireball specifically has impacted the Ling matchup because one of your best tools to counter neutral AOP was 2 into red fireball. Of course, you could step it, but now there is very little use in stepping it when you can just get punished, right? So
she just AOP it anyway. She just AOP it and launch you.
She can't AOP underneath 2.
Yeah, but she could AOP. She can always launch the fireball, right? She just AOPs after the 2.
On block, maybe. I'm not.
Oh, it seems so. It goes. She's down in 1 frame, so.
Oh, then yeah.
Yeah, no, she can block down 3 and AOP down into under the fireball. Just
that's true.
Fireball.
Yeah.
Also, characters that have back turn launchers are very good against Akuma, especially her because she's short.
Mm-hmm.
You'll often get behind Ling and she'll just do 4. That happens in North.
Yeah.
And also, a nerf that happened recently is that down 2 got nerfed on hit, which I didn't realize until like a couple months later how that impacted Akuma. Because now when you jump over and you're back to back, you do down 2 because you can't do the regular down jab, so you have to do down 2.
Yep.
And you used to have a guaranteed while standing 4-4.
Yep.
And now you don't. So even when you get back to back, all you get is a down jab.
Well, you get the mix up between down 4 and while standing 4-4. That's what you get, but nothing's guaranteed anymore.
So trash then.
It is bad, yeah.
When before you used to get decent chunk of guaranteed damage if you had enough advantage when you were back to back.
Yeah.
Now, if she's faster than you, she launches you, and you get a down jab. If you're faster than her.
Well, this is why me personally, if I ever end up back to back, I've become so used to doing back turn teleport because activates in 2 frames.
I do it a lot, but
yeah, right. But we would
situation you can get punished for that.
Yeah, true. But we would usually do like a back turned like down jab because if it hit, then we would have a nice chunk of damage. But now there's very little use to that. So me personally, I end up always doing back turn teleport, even if I would have had the advantage in the situation otherwise.
Too much fucking.
Yeah, well, that's that's the reason. The reason is because I don't get any guaranteed opportunity for damage after down 2 hits.
I understand the reason. But a good thing that I've tried to start doing is when you know the down 2 is going to hit, and you're not just throwing it out to confirm something, which doesn't work. You just go for spend your meter. You do down 2 hardo, cancel, back turn, throw.
Right. Oh, true. Yeah.
But you need a buff for that.
Yeah.
So what are the other bad matchups? Jack.
Dragunov.
Maybe
Dragunov? No, wait.
Really?
It's really not as bad as the others. It's just that he can anti-air you from almost full screen.
How?
Like back 3 is just...
right.
But the problem is he can't use running 2 and M2. So. But
is it sorry, go on. Yeah.
I play against a very strong Dragunov player, and you can as long as he's playing the Akuma matchup, Dragunov can shut him down very well. Because he's also got very good movement, and he can, and his QCF1 is also very good. Right. But the problem is he can't play his proper game. Down 2 is much riskier than it should be, and running 2, if you focus attack, you can if you absorb it at the beginning of it, you can charge it up enough to launch.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's the same like Noctis's down back 1+2 at the first frame of armor. If you armor through it, you can always charge level 2 to get a launch. Yeah.
Steve is very good against Akuma, despite what Doug from Paris would have you believe.
Yeah, I think that's a decent matchup.
I'm just calling out everyone in this stream. I don't care. Because he can step and sway, and you'll avoid downfall.
Yeah.
That should tell you enough. Downfalls is Akuma's most important move. You can just go around it, and he'll wall bounce you now. You can watch my my set against Saleh. A very very good Steve from Pakistan. Well, the thing is, I've been told he's not that good, but he's amazing against Akuma because he's a Pakistani's training partner. Much better against Akuma than any other character. So you'll see him at his best against me, and I lost. And you can see what he does against Akuma. It's difficult. It's just that if you try to pressure too much, and that's most characters, the dig jabs are going to hurt you, which is why Doug doesn't like Akuma. Down 3 goes under highs, dig jabs, stops pressure. But as long as you're playing carefully and not overextending, again, something the Pakistanis are very good at, Steve will be very, very good against Akuma.
So step and sway right. Step and sway right. Step and sway to the right.
I believe so.
Yeah, for down 4. Yeah.
Because it is technically steppable. I've seen it stepped in some situations, but it's more or less homing. But Steve can reliably do it, which is the difference.
Right.
Say, Paul's a bad matchup?
Sorry, about Steve's anti-airs?
If you do flicker back 2, flicker back 2, the power crush, that anti-airs so well because it'll absorb anything. It'll flicker out of range for the throw, and it'll just hit before anything.
Right.
If you're too late on it, you might get the sweep to touch you. The worst that's going to happen is the 3 will trade, and you'll both go away. That's the worst that can happen.
Steve's while standing 1 is incredible anti-air as well.
While standing 1's really good. Back 1, then you don't jump over back 1.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah. Pull's much easier to explain. Basically, you press down forward 2, and that's it. It will stop him from coming in, and it will anti-air every time.
Yeah.
And since he has bad movement, stepping it is difficult. So yeah, if you're a pull player, just do down forward 2.
Yeah. Pulse down forward 2 is the solution to a lot of problems.
And also, it goes under the... It doesn't go under Akuma's jab as well, because he's got a very low jab, but it does also go under...
Oh, it's happened to me, yeah.
Yeah, no, it happens a lot, but not as much as the other characters.
Right.
Yeah, Brian with this infamously shitty jab. Yeah, his jab hitbox goes to the moon.
Paul, it even happens to Akuma, even though he's got the low jab, but Akuma's very reliant on his jab compared to some other characters.
Yeah,
that's true.
And his Death Fist punish, unless point blank, you can only get forward 3.
Same with Demo Man, right? Shall I hit Demo Man? Only get forward 3.
You only get forward 3, which is bad. Zafina, bad matchup. Because movement beats Akuma, but it's always been very hard to move. Zafina, it's not hard to move.
How about Fakum Ram then? Or how about Miguel or Fakum Ram? They both have good backdashes too.
I think Miguel's good against Akuma. Because, again, like Jack, the answer to Miguel is movement. It's sideways movement. You don't really get that. Like, his down forward 1 is almost impossible to step with Akuma.
Okay.
So he can just go into pretty much any mix-up he wants. But the problem with Miguel is all his lows, he doesn't duck when doing his lows. So when you jump over, you'll never get in his back. You'll always get the combo.
Right.
But like I said, I think he's good. Who was the other one you said?
Fakum Ram.
I need more experience, but I think Akuma's actually okay against Fakum Ram. Because you can jump over a lot of his moves. And Fakum is very prone to getting counter hit. And Akuma has some very fast and reliable counter hit.
That's true. And he's also got the same sort of low situation with Miguel. Like, he doesn't high crush with his lows. So if you're going to jump over a low, you're going to get the combo. You know?
I think it's also just that Fakum Ram's another one of those characters where he's got a lot of wind up on his moves, which makes him vulnerable to focus attack.
Oh yeah.
Focus attack's good against him.
Yeah.
But it's some moves he seems to be able to recover fast. Like the power crush sort of blocking that happens, he seems to be able to duck a bit. That happened to me yesterday. But I need more experience, but so far I think Akuma's good. And down 4, it's launch punishable. Some characters with Akuma, unless it's max range, while standing 2 is a reliable punish for it. And you can do while standing 4/4 if you're doubting, because that always is.
I'm trying to think of other characters that have superlative movement. I guess Elisa, Kazumi, Lily, they all have better movement.
But Kazumi's very pressure-based. It's hard to pressure Akuma. She's good, and Shantai is really good with a down forward 1. But it's not too good because of that.
Yeah. Well, the good thing for Kazumi is that you're going to be using down forward 1 anyway. Like, it's not something that you need to think about in the matchup. You're using that incredibly, powerful move often enough to... Well, using it often anyway. Like, it's not something you have to think about. And it anti-airs very well. So it's the same with, like, Jack's 2 jabs, right? So
yeah, but, like, jumping is more necessary to beat Jack than it is to beat Kasumi. Kasumi, if you just stay on the ground, should do jab into down forward 1, and you'll just dig jab.
True.
Yeah, that's weird. That's the weird thing. Like, I haven't played Akuma that much, but when I have played against like Kazumi, it feels like an oddly good matchup for Akuma, just because her pressure has become so risky against him.
Well, launch punishing statue kick with down 2 is satisfying. I can't. That's something that in the matchup that I quite like. Yeah.
At matchups, we got Claudio, because everything that floats pretty much tailspins.
Down 1/2.
Yeah, if you get floated from full screen, you'll do down 1/2 and get the tailspin. And otherwise, it's a move that already did tailspin. And he doesn't really pressure you as in down forward 1 pressure. He'll do like big plus frames and do another move. And then go away. Like his general play style, you don't really have to change it to beat Akuma.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, some characters they're very good if you play the Akuma matchup. Claudio mostly plays like Claudio.
Right.
Yeah, because he's never really putting himself into the range where Akuma is scary, like Kazumi is.
That's true.
Because all his stuff, unless it's Super Plus, because all his stuff makes him naturally distances him. Like if he's doing back one, it's always just like, oh, we're now at the range where Akuma is just a regular character. Every time he's just establishes regular character range.
Also, forward 4 is a really good low crushing approach tool, and so if you're going to try and do like down 2 spam, it's going to really counter that well.
Okay.
Well, when that was viable, I don't think it's too viable now.
Good matchups. I mean, mostly like I would guess we want like, oh yeah, what about Elisa?
It's okay. Nothing special on either side really.
Would you say
Eliza's a good matchup? I think Akuma versus Eliza is quite good for Akuma, personally.
Eliza, I mean the vampire.
Yeah.
She has some good tools to deal with Akuma, but Akuma's got more good tools to deal with her.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. I think it's just one of those ones where he's just a better character.
Well, being able to fully option select back 1-2 is something that not many characters have, Like Heavy Shoryuken will punish back 1-2 and it'll interrupt the extension. So, and not like any character, not every character has that. So,
and jumping over the waves and
that's good. Yeah. Being able to option select forward 4-2 as well.
Yeah.
We talked a bit about Kuma earlier, and I mean, when I talked to you last time, you said Kuma's a good matchup against Kuma, but now you think Kuma might be even or a good matchup because of
because of the new strats I learned, and you can see Arslan has been picking Kuma against Farzeen a lot.
Yeah, I've been noticing that. Yeah,
and that's not for nothing because it's hard to hit him with a down 3. That was always the case. But what made it good is that you could pretty much do a demon flip mix-up out of everything. And it was always, if you do the grab, it was uninterruptible. And if they decide to duck, you would just do a mid. The problem is now, Panda players have found the option that beats demon flip, that beats everything in demon flip. Which means that now is janky hitbox and range.
Beats everything. Beats everything in demon flip. Does it? Yeah.
It does. The move is too fast to interrupt properly.
Well, I have to test that one.
Yeah, I was surprised too. I thought it would be gimmicky. It's not. It works too good.
So then that shuts down demon flip then from you. But is it something that you need for the matchup to be in your favor?
Yes,
you think so?
You have no range.
Okay, true.
Down 3, down 2, they're not good against Kuma.
So Jack
and you can't punish him reliably on some moves.
But what about whilst I need 2 into? Well, I suppose now it's not that great. But whilst I need 2 into Red Fireball, that was incredibly strong. A normal hit launcher with no meter.
It was still quite minus, but now it's unsafe. I'm taking that into account. Now it's actually unsafe.
Yeah.
It might have been better before, but now it's
That's true.
Can I ask about Marduk? I would have thought Marduk might be good.
Marduk is not as good as people think, and I said that. Then the John 10-0'd me, and people, hey, I remember Sherdle said that and took screenshots of me saying that and posted it after I lost 10-0. Hey, Sherdle. But yeah, the John 10-0'd me because he's an amazing player. It's got nothing to do with the matchup. There is one buff to Season 3 that did change things drastically. Down forward 1 didn't have any range when Marduk first came out. So Whiff Punishment was kind of bad.
Right.
But now that he's got a decent Whiff Punisher, it does change things.
Okay.
But Akuma can so reliably jump over Marduk's move list. And I mean, the whole move list. It's crazy. I'll do down back 2 where he goes like this in the air. You'll just casually climb on his hand before you do something for it.
Yeah.
So and also when he does tackle, jump. you won't get hit by the tackle. You're not
right.
like tackle's not as risky against. It's not as good against Akuma.
Yeah.
Which is a big strength of the character. I don't know Marduk's particularly bad. I found that he has an option against the uninterruptible demon grab as well. That's very reliable against the demon flip. But even that doesn't really change the regular jumping's really good. And his general hitbox doesn't have down 3 on Kuma's very hard, it's not on Marduk. Is what I'm trying to say. So I don't think Marduk's that good against Akuma. He's not bad, but it's not that good.
Okay. So we've established bad matchups of what, Jack and what else? Kuma and Steve and there was someone else we mentioned. Eddie, of course, yeah. Do most of the cast go sort of like Akuma 5.5, like slightly in his favor, just because of the strengths of the character, or even because I don't think this is a game with many 6/4s. A few here and there.
I think Akuma has a lot of. Yeah, I think Akuma has a lot of. He doesn't have a lot of 5/5 matchups.
Yeah,
I don't think he does. I think Akuma's quite polarizing. He's either amazingly good or quite bad. It's very rare that it's.
Yeah.
So he's generally a 6/4 character. So you think generally he's 6/4 on? You think he's generally a 6/4 on either good or bad?
Yeah.
Okay. So who are some good matchups? Like who does Kuma just destroy?
Maybe it sounds controversial, but I really think that he destroys Noctis. Even though,
I don't think he destroys him, but people think Noctis is the counter.
Well, yeah, exactly. But
and I would say honestly no. Just because Caiper didn't study the matchup at all and he got destroyed by Kane.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't mean that Noctis completely beats Akuma. Noctis is decent against Akuma.
Do you think so?
He's really not that good.
The reasoning was that his 2-string can swat him out the air. Was that the reason? That the 2-string has such a strong vertical hitbox?
4-2 beats Fireball.
Fireballs.
Right. You can also step down for 2 fireballs. The thing is, he's very interruptible, punishable, and 2 anti-airs very well, but not much else. If he's not anti-airing you, your jump over is moveless.
But I personally think Focus Attack is incredibly strong against Noctis.
Oh, yeah, I was forgetting that. Focus Attack's so good against Noctis.
It's probably it's the reason I think that it's such a good matchup for Akuma. Because you have moves like down back 1+2 that are some of them sometimes it's considered a gimmick, but it's viable, right? It's a launcher. It does a lot of damage, but it's quite useless against Akuma with good Focus Attack timing. Most of his moves have very slow recovery as well, so you can even punish forward 2 with Focus Attack. If you time it right, even though he's high crushing at the end of his animation, you can time it right to where you get the launch punish. So
yeah, because if you wait till the
exactly.
The high crush is doing a lot of the animation, but the very end of it, he is standing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Noctis isn't the answer. Good. We were saying good matchups for Akuma.
Yeah. Akuma. Law.
He's decent against Law because he can shut down 3+4.
That's true. Yeah.
He also jump over the lows because Law doesn't duck.
Yeah, I think in general it's a tough matchup for Law to regain the life lead in, and it's not a tough matchup for Akuma to regain the life lead in.
Yeah.
Is it back 1-2-1, that 3-hit extension?
Yeah, that's the one you can Dragon Punch. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just Shoryuken through the second hit to option select. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Akuma, I think he's good against Ganryu. I need to do it more though. We were saying it was good against Eliza. So
yeah. Well, against Ganryu, is it most of Ganryu's options that leave him grounded? Akuma can DP to pick up and launch, which I think is quite unique.
The DP is good. You actually don't have much of a problem stepping Ganryu's stance. So what you would think would be a good thing for Ganryu isn't. And just he's generally a bit unsafe. Like, if he does headbutt to interrupt your pressure, you can launch him.
Exactly, yeah.
Dangerous. And he's generally quite a slow character. So counter hits will be good, and focus attack could be very good as well. Because forward free is really a really good pressure tool, for example. If you just focus attack through it, it's done.
Is it back 1-2 Granby where he transitions into, or he can move forward like that move? Is that you can just Shoryuken after the first hit?
After back 2, you punish the string.
Oh, back 2, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Not after back 2-1, like back 2.
Back 2 on its own. Yeah.
DP straight. There's no mix up.
Yeah.
And also, he's got the same problem with the lows where he doesn't duck, so you can again jump and reliably get a combo.
I think Anna's a good matchup for Akuma.
It's all right.
How so?
I mean, just like a lot of her, she just has to play entirely like down forward 1-2 and coin flip. Like, she can't do any chaos judgment stuff.
That's true.
Because he just Dragon Punch it.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, she has a few options that are just, it's -10, so it's okay, or -12, so it's okay. It's not okay.
Yeah.
The only thing is that Akuma doesn't have, as far as I actually don't know. Akuma doesn't. I don't know how strong Akuma's option select is on, or how strong Akuma's punishment is on up forward 1-3. Because with most characters, you just want to do a reasonably damaging 12 frame move with lots of range, and I don't know if Hurricane works. But I don't know.
Which move?
Up forward 1-3. The thing where she does the up forward 1-3 both kicks. The thing where she does the punch, kick in the balls, and then
maybe the jab just reaches. I think.
I mean, it's pretty far away if she stops. Is the main thing.
Grab a hitbox from too far away. That happens. Normally, you need like a 4. You need a 4 or something to reach.
Right.
But
maybe down forward 3 would work.
Yeah, it's also -16, so you can standing to her or whatever. But like,
is it 16? You said?
I think so. Yeah. But normally,
two.
No, but no, like, she can finish it. It's got a 12 frame gap between the.
Right.
12 frames.
What's that?
I didn't realize you could interrupt it.
Yeah. So you can just like, if you the best characters for doing it are just those with strong, is like stuff like Law's 4-3 or Brian's 4-3, because you get a launch if she continues it and you punish her if she doesn't. So that kind of stuff. But,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'd need to test it out. I didn't realize it was interruptible. I never play against Anna, to be honest. I studied the matchup. I seem to be able to punish her very reliably, and stepping wasn't that much of an issue against Anna. Because her tracking to the sides, she's steppable, is terrible. It doesn't randomly track sometimes, even with Akuma's bad movement.
Well, just to mention on chaos judgment, right? That's the stance where you need to anticipate that they're going to try and interrupt you, so you have an option to counter hit them, or they're going to go for a low, so you can low crush, or you can high crush, right? But Akuma's light Shoryuken 10 frames, and it's a mid that you can't low crush, high crush, or like you can't deal with that in a way, and you can obviously FADC and get yourself the combo. So that's why I think it's
So what about Raven? You've played that matchup a ton, SuperAkouma.
I think she's very good at keeping Akuma out, but if she tries anything that's not keeping him out, she's in shit.
Common theme.
It's very, very, very hard for Akuma to catch up to a Raven, but a Raven that tries to do anything else but keep him out will suffer.
People in the chat are mentioning Chloe and her down forward 1 causing problems for Akuma.
Yeah, but that's literally it. That's the problem. Is that one's great, but that's it. That's the all.
I don't think Chloe's a big problem, honestly. In fact, Akuma has quite a good punish against Kali roll. If we're going to discuss that, you can sidestep right to avoid the extension, and also punish the no extension with full forward 2-1. So, and you can also do the same on whiff as well. With the extension whiffing. So I think that's not something that many characters have, but that's something that Akuma has. And also, actually, in season 3, the most recent version of season 3, where forward 4 got that huge nerf, Kali roll would go underneath that, and then Akuma would be dead. But now, I mean, you would see few Akumas using that move more often. So that's not a huge risk now in the matchup, in my opinion.
Also,
Yeah, I mean,
down to kind of hurts like the lows.
If
she tries to do 4 crouch down forward 1, or if she tries to do down forward 4, the fact that you can launch it when those are only lows.
Well, something actually good for Chloe, I remember, is up 3, just like the up 3 version of a hop kick. It is still -15, but Akuma's only punish is light Tatsu. That's only like consistent punish. Like 2 won't work, obviously down forward 1 won't work. But that's something good. I suppose you're going to need a good low crush answer against Akuma, and up 3 is good against.
It's a good move. You do have a reliable punish, even if it's not very good. You do have one.
Well, if you're good enough to input it in time as well.
It's very hard to punish for a lot of characters.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Like, up forward 3 is a trouble for no one, but up 3 is good in most matchups. That's not Akuma specific.
Fair. Yeah.
I mean, I think in a lot of cases, Akuma is going to have matchups against people like Noctis and Chloe, where the main thing that sort of tilts at him is in his favor is that he's a better character than they are. Like he just like when it's your turn to guess against Chloe and Noctis, it's just not very scary. When it's your turn to guess against Akuma, it's very scary. Like he's just a better rounded like these characters generally have specific counters for specific things that Akuma does, but like they just don't have the sheer damage output or like well-roundedness.
Consistency in a lot of his moves. Like I was saying, forward 3 being an amazing poke. I don't know what these characters could do. They don't have the range and stuff like that.
And what about Goose?
If you can play like Arslan, Geese will be very good. If you can't, then not so much. Like because his movement and his parry, but not so much the parry, to be honest. But his movement is just so good. The problem is if he gets a combo on you, Geese now kills you.
Yeah,
Geese does more damage than Akuma.
Yeah.
So since his steps are so good, if he does touch you, it does hurt a lot. So he can exploit Akuma's biggest weakness. But Akuma's good at option selecting and jumping over stuff. And Akuma's good at beating offensive Geese, but defensive Geese he struggles too much, I think.
Can I bring up the other generally recognized top tiers? Like a lot of people say Jin and Paul and Leroy. We already talked about Steve a bit, but how do you think he fares against Jin or Paul? We've already talked about as well. So Jin and Leroy.
Well, I think you've seen my match against CBM.
Yeah.
I honestly think Jin can be better than that match. I'm trolling a bit. But overall, I think Jin's a bit slow and linear to beat out Akuma.
Well, standing 4 is a good anti-air, and his hop kick is a good anti-air as well, because he pretty much always manages to pick up with the back to one. Yeah.
But like the thing about Jin's keep out is that Akuma doesn't care. Like when I was playing against CBM, I was just thinking, you're using these moves, whether it's on hit or block, I don't care, I'm getting hit, I'll come in eventually. Like a lot of keep out, I'm scared. Like Asuka, I don't want to get hit by back 3. If I'm hit by a forward 4 on hit, because I'm not pressing buttons, just hits. I don't care.
It's all count hit. Yeah.
And I can can't hit Jin if he takes too many liberties. Yeah. And jumping, it's difficult, but like I said, I've learned, I play a lot against Jin. When you time your jumps perfectly, you can jump over everything reliably. But it's you got to know. That's very difficult to actually train that. It's just that I play against Fireblade regularly.
Right. How about Leroy as the last of the top tiers?
I need more experience with the new Leroy, but I can talk about Leroy before. Leroy beat Akuma for us. The simple reason that is Tekken tools were good enough to deal with close range Akuma, and there is no real long range Akuma, whereas there is a long range Leroy.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's not really a matchup. That's just Leroy being so good.
Right.
Like Dino was saying,
It's a better character.
it's not the matchup; it's the character.
Yeah.
That's how I felt Leroy before.
All right, then only like one more topic to go. But actually, there was an interesting point I want to raise. Is that in Street Fighter, the way Akuma's tools are kind of balanced is that he takes damage like, an anemic 7-year-old girl. He takes damage more than any other character on the roster. How would you feel if Tekken introduced variable life bars? Or if Akuma had less health?
Nah, you couldn't have that. Characters do too much damage already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, the problem is not getting hit by Akuma. The problem hitting Akuma isn't a problem. Like, he's easy to hit. You'll float him often. You can get damage on him. The problem is you not getting damaged. And I don't think having a bigger life bar would make much of a difference, to be honest.
I mean, if you were going to do that in the hypothetical, you would have to increase Akuma's meter again.
Yeah.
Because you can't have Akuma dying in one combo and then having no meter to work with.
Because right, with season 1 and 2 damage and maybe arcade version damage, that argument made a lot more sense. But Akuma does no longer kill you on a down 3. That's just not true. Like, I think it did about 80 damage before the nerfs, down 3. 80 damage is a lot, but it wasn't that much more than a regular launcher. Now, it's no longer that, and it's much more in line with other characters. If you it's just the ease of access of the launcher that makes it good, no longer the damage.
Well, yeah, because Akuma's maximum damage down 3 fireball combo does 100 damage, exactly.
With what?
No, just like down 3 fireball FADC, perfectly timed 2 fireball FADC.
With 2 bars and a just frame.
Yeah.
It's 100 damage.
Yeah.
2 bars and a just frame. What'd you get off a counter hit down forward 2 electric? Which requires no meter and has a just frame in it.
But then you could argue like one of them's minus 12 mid and one of them is plus 7.
That's what I was saying. The ease of access of the launcher makes the difference, but not the damage.
Right.
Life bar adjusting is really only damage.
The other question that's being brought up by the chat a lot is, why doesn't down 4 stagger on block, whereas Geese's down 4 does, for example?
Well, Geese's down 4 is minus 5 on hit, so it doesn't knock down either. So I just think they're not
the same move. Yeah.
No.
Different moves, different properties, but if it did stagger, I wouldn't particularly mind. Like, that's
basically, it's pretty much. It's pretty much a stagger low anyway.
So it doesn't launch punishable by most characters anyway, as it is.
Every character.
Yeah.
Like, there are some range issues where you like max range. Jin's while standing 2 will whiff. If you did an electric like a CD1, you would punish it at every range. And most characters don't have that problem. Like, Josie might whiff while standing 2-1, might whiff the hop kick. Crouch cancel down 4-2, you'll never whiff. It's just every character can launch it. Yeah,
even Heihachi before he had his new while standing 3 launcher. 4-4-2, exactly. And if it didn't launch, then Akuma's not going to punish you. So
4-4-2 is safe against Akuma.
I think the sweep probably should stagger, just because it's a pointless faff. Like, it's not that people can't like launch it. It's just that, like, who cares? Like, it's kind of a boring thing to have to think about, is to do specific crouch cancel stagger punishments on block sweeps. Like, it's like the Eddie slippery kicks thing, or like Bob's old Tekken Tag 2 version of whatever it was, down back
3+4,
3+4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you could option select launch it anyway, and it was just fine, sure, you can do that, but who cares? So I would say just make all the sweeps like that, stagger. Because
I would be okay with a stagger.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's necessary.
I don't think it's necessary, but
it's not like other lows that. Well, okay, Geese's down 4 staggering isn't isn't something that could bring into this, but I think Eliza's down 4 staggers. And obviously slippery kicks.
Hit launchers.
Well, true, but also slippery kicks stagger as well. But that's because the animation of these moves they continue after they hit you, right? Akuma's down 4 hits you, and then that's pretty much it. It doesn't carry on like spinning around like Eddie does, or it doesn't carry on like Eliza does with her animation or anything like this. So making it stagger, I don't think is necessary. So
I don't think it's necessary, but they probably just do it because like. It doesn't really add anything to the game to have weird punishments on stuff, like that are just totally different. Like you got to learn completely different punishments for like X, Y, Z sweep or like stuff. That's not fun.
No, but even if it did stagger, actually, if it did stagger,
for keeping it the way it is. Again, staggering wouldn't be a problem for me, but it's just that down 4, even though it's a knockdown sweep, it's mostly used as a poke in a weird way. Yeah. It's not. Like, other sweeps, they're not pokes. His one is a poke. It does knock down, but it's part of his poke game. It's not his mix-up, high crutch. It's not the same. Like, his sweep doesn't serve the same purpose as other sweeps. Please tell me if you can find one, but I can't find any other sweep.
Lars.
Lars is kind of a launcher. Same thing.
Yeah, but it's still part of his poking, yeah? It's not his, like...
I guess.
You don't use it as a mix-up.
Just on the point of making it stagger, though, like, is the point of making it stagger so that we don't have to do crouch cancel punishes? Because even at max range, like tip range, would that still, if it's staggered, your while standing moves might still whiff, so...
Just a simple quality of life change, really. I mean, it doesn't...
Yeah, I mean, it's very rare that you see, like, a blocked hell sweep and then, like, a Jin's while standing 2 will miss or something like that.
Oh, fair enough, yeah.
So I mean, it's just I think like this is stuff which makes it makes Tekken a bit too hard to learn. Is that you have to learn specific stuff, very specific moves. Like, it's just it's not a big thing. Like again, I just play Brian. I just do Fisherman Slam.
But no, I can understand that. Homogenizing punishes is a good thing.
Yeah.
I didn't like homogenizing offense and combos.
Yeah, I agree.
Like punishments should be homogenized.
Because it's already hard enough as it is.
But some characters actually have to crouch cancel punish some lows, to get a better punish. In fact,
they would still have to do that if it's staggered, but it would help people.
Just visually,
I suppose. But there are like characters like Hwoarang who do crouch cancel back 3, which is a better punish than up back 3-3, right? So people do it anyway. So I don't see the issue of if it's staggered, it would be easier to punish. Then you should always maximize your punishment, right? Or you should aim to maximize your punishment. And if crouch canceling is something that is going to get you more damage from your punish, then should you really think that I can get away with doing like this while standing move because it's easier? I mean, yeah, of course, in tournament it's difficult to think about these things like when there's pressure on you. But if you can get a better punish from crouch canceling, you should aim for that. I think,
you should aim for it. But like again, you can do it in both situations. I just don't. Yeah, like to Vincent's point, I just don't think you need to. Like I don't think it really adds much. Like to have weird sweep punishments, it doesn't really add much to have slippery kicks be weird.
Now I agree with you. If it, like homogenizing like animations and punishing, like punishment animations, like I think that would be better. But it doesn't. It's not needed. But
no,
I think at this point, staggering would be okay.
I just think it's a needless layer of fluff, and it will help make the game a bit more concise. And again, you wouldn't really lose anything at a high level. Just make it more consistent. A quality of life change.
There's one. Yeah, I got one more thing. We're taking too long on just this, but
yeah.
It's just a general feeling thing.
Yeah.
Like it's just, but I mean, like when you're doing it, even if your sweep gets blocked, it feels much more necessary with Akuma. But if it's staggered, the mental damage from seeing your character stagger.
I'm just thinking that, right? Yeah.
Does actually affect gameplay.
That's why I wanted to stagger, because it's such an important part of Akuma's playlist.
Otherwise, it wouldn't feel right.
Well,
Yeah.
for example,
I have Akuma staggering there, like if I'm trying to poke you with down 4.
did Snake Edge always stagger on block? Like, did it?
Not in Tekken 4.
Right. And did people use it more liberally in Tekken 4?
Not really.
Yeah, but that's the Snake Edge.
Yeah, I don't think you can compare the two. I don't think
Invisible low isn't the same as the Snake Edge.
Of course.
Yeah. Akuma's down 4 17 frames. High Crush is at the 6th frame, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a sweep that gained the stagger animation. There's an obvious one here somewhere.
I know there is, but I can't find it.
I mean, no sweeps had drip animations when they first put them in the game. Like back in Tekken 3, there's no such thing as like a drip stagger or anything.
Jin's one, yeah, Jin's hell sweep, right?
None of them, yeah. Like like if you block Lay's down back 4 with Jin, and he goes into stance, like he can literally sidestep you while standing too. It's pretty good.
Oh, wow, that sounds horrific.
Right.
Okay, so like the last question of the podcast, and do you think we should go into it? Basically, question number 4, which is again about how Akuma is perceived between Akuma players and non-Akuma players. So Akuma, specialist character, particularly outside of Pakistan. There's a divide between Akuma players who only play Akuma and non-Akuma players who can't play Akuma. Does this make dialogue difficult between Akuma Shanks? Akuma Skanks, not Shanks, sorry. Because Akuma Skanks don't understand what it's like to play against him, and other players don't know what it's like to play as him. This is even more extreme with Eliza players, for example.
It's not more extreme with Eliza players.
Eliza players never play anyone else.
I mean, I can't.
Exactly.
I can't lie. I mean, I wouldn't be anywhere without Akuma, so I can't play anybody else. I'm gonna throw it out there. Akuma carries me, I suppose. You know.
Eliza players. You know what? I'm not gonna say. Fergus said it best. I clipped him on stream, and he said they downplay their character because they don't know how to play Tekken and they got no fundamentals. Fergus said that. Don't attack me. Go look for the clip. I'm quoting my friend. Right.
Wait. Are you capturing the beef list here? It was Shadell first, then it was I think it was Doug.
Yeah.
And now it's
long hit list.
Now it's Fergus.
Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna be a busy guy after lockdown. You can have a queue outside your door.
There's a reason I do an awful lot more like fights, like boxing match kind of fights than other people. I don't hold my words back. I don't mean harm on anyone. Like I said, I really do respect Sherdor, and you can ask K-Wiz before my fight. I said I don't want to fight Sherdor. I'm kind of scared, right? I could lose this, right? But when I talk, I tend to be a bit reckless. That's why I get into trouble. But it makes for hype matches, and I honestly don't care if I lose if everyone's having fun.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
I always just I say names. That's what gets me into trouble.
Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning that
who I'm talking about and who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning that there's always the regular comment of, "Oh, you're carried by Akuma," and if it wasn't for Akuma, you'd be nowhere. I mean, to me, right? If you're going to mention that to me, it sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. Akuma carries me, but so what? I mean, I'm still beating you, right? So
yeah, I'm getting carried, but you're not winning anywhere else.
Right?
No one who is winning when I'm not there is complaining about me getting carried. People who are winning, even if they're losing to every Akuma player, no one who is winning is complaining to me about being carried.
Well, it's a winner's mentality.
Being carried are people who don't win themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's a mentality thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it's tricky though, because like I've played Akuma a bunch, and like I think it's very hard for people to actually like, because a lot of people, you also get this with like people people who talk about Mishima players, like they will say,
Well, yeah.
I actually don't think Mishimas are hard because it's just sweep and electric, and those things aren't actually difficult. But like, it's actually very difficult to play a Mishima against someone who is good. Like, and it's the same thing with Akuma, is that he can look super, like, you can see, if you watch someone playing an Akuma, you can be like, the only thing that this character needs to be good is you just need to learn some robotic execution for focus attack, dash cancel, and then he's easy.
It's like, all execution, right? That's the argument.
This isn't true at all. The character is legit hard to play. Like, there's a reason why Arslan and me could not use him in Tekken World Tour. They weren't confident. The character is hard. Like, he's not just hard, he's very unique. He's a very unique character. You have to be like, you have to just have a very special way of playing that some people just don't gel with. I don't think I gel very well with Akuma personally, but I had to find that out myself by playing the character. But similarly, like, because Akuma players are such specialists, all they get is people shouting at them. And like, they don't know what it's like to, often like, you won't get to play against other Akumas with like a regular character a lot of the time. So you don't get to feel what it's like to play regular character versus Akuma. So like, there's not very much opportunity for dialogue between the two sides because no one really knows what the other side is feeling.
And on that, right, I'm miles and miles better with my main character, which is Akuma. But I play most of the cast, to be honest. But people say, "Oh, look, but I beat you. I beat you with Marduk 4-3 online, and I'm going to post it to my channel." Again, not saying names, but like, he's the one guy. I don't say his name, but everyone knows I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm not as strong. It's not because he's a Tekken character. It's because he's not my main. I haven't put in the time into this character. Like, that's why I'm not as good. Like, you can say I'm getting carried because I'm better with my main character. But that's just dumb. He's my main. I didn't train punishment. I didn't train combos as much. I don't have the tournament experience, the casual experience of all these characters. I play them. I have fun. I'm decent, I think. I'd like to think so. But they're not my main. I just haven't put in the time into it. Like, showing me losing when I don't have my main, it's like, okay, I was playing Akuma, but I was only putting one hand on the pad and you beat me. Like, clearly that doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. There are other characters I play, but I wouldn't even say I've invested 1% of the time I've invested into Akuma into these other characters. You know?
And they try to use anything as ammo to discredit Akuma players. And it happens to not just to Akuma players. Like, it happens to like top tier Leroy's, top tier anyone's, right? You will get called out for being carried. And when you lose with someone who's not your main, they're like, "Oh, you're trash, you lost." I'm not playing at my best. And I think, personally, if you're going to judge someone, judge them at their best and over a period of time. And that's important.
You know, something I want to say that's actually been on my mind throughout this entire podcast is I think when I upload this to YouTube, I'm going to get a common comment, which is, I play a lot of Tekken. I understand Tekken quite well. Yet I don't understand a single thing of what's been talked about for the past 3 hours because Akuma is such a specialized character. And I want to ask a question to the chat, actually. And I'm guessing this is one of the main reasons why he's so unpopular. I want to ask a question to the chat. Would you rather Tekken have 60 broadly homogenized characters or 30 characters who are completely distinct and unique? Would you rather have... I mean, yeah, I'm not going to add any more to that. Pretty much everyone is saying 30. 30 unique. 30 unique. I don't think I've seen a yeah, everyone is saying 30 unique. So is Akuma being so unpopular because he's kind of in the wrong game? Because there are 48 other characters. I don't mean in the wrong game as in this is Tekken, but because there's already so much to learn, and then just one of them stands out like this.
Maybe, yeah, that's a good point.
That's part of it.
Because the game is already so deep, right?
Yeah, imagine if... Yeah, exactly. Imagine if everyone was unique like Akuma.
And you have a tunnel to the ocean in the corner at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm starting to drown, and you just get sucked into the tunnel and you die.
That's a good point.
I love Haroon's response. 60 homogenized, all slots are Annas.
Someone had to say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was almost completely ubiquitous. Everyone would prefer 30 unique characters to 60 characters who are pretty much the same. Where would you say Tekken 7 is right now? Do you think the characters are distinct enough? Do you think the game kind of... I asked this question to Dino a few days ago, actually, but do you think Tekken 7 has sacrificed... do you think balance has come at the cost of homogeneity? Do you think the characters are too similar?
About season 3. That's personally what I was saying about season 3.
Yeah. I think there are like characters that are too similar in my eyes.
And here's a comment you will hear often. This character's not worth it because there's a better top tier version. Yeah. You hear that a lot. He's not worth putting your time into because there's a character that's the same but better. And that shouldn't happen. It's like a low tier like Gigas or Lei. I don't mind them being low tier. They're different. They're nice. They're good additions.
That's true.
The fact that they're not as good, but they have their own specialties to specialize in, they're fun. A character like Katarina being low tier, probably early season 3 when she had a bit less crushing on her stuff because
season 1 or season 1 Lee.
Yeah, season 1 Lee. What was the point of playing season 1 Lee?
Yeah.
None.
There were three slide and jab and down forward 1 and hop kick characters, and 2 of them were super good and 1 of them was complete trash. And now, 2 of them are super good, and 1 of them is slightly worse, but twice as hard to play as the other ones.
They gave him some stuff to differentiate himself a bit, but yeah, like the difficulty they put into Lee doesn't make up for the stuff they added. It's not worth it.
Yeah,
just if you're gonna play Lee, just play Shaheen instead.
Yep.
Yeah, 30 different personalities is better than 60 of the same personality.
Yeah.
That's why when I picked up Akuma, you got to remember context. People thought Akuma was weak.
Yeah.
Like when in season 1 and even season 2, people thought he was weak, not just not top tier, weak. That's why all the Koreans dropped him. But he was so different and interesting to me, and that's why I picked him up. And Lee was a lot different in Tag 2, and he felt more like his own thing.
Yeah.
And I really liked Lee in Tag 2. Now I never touch him, even though I've got experience on the character from legacy experience, but I don't like him now.
Yeah.
I think it is a little bit off topic, but the bounce system changing to screw kind of hurt Lee because you can't screw at the wall.
It wrecked him so bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't work with the system at all. But yeah, I think the consensus generally is that if every character was as unique as Akuma was, he'd be a lot easier to digest and accept. But he's like an outlier, and he's a really strong outlier that nobody plays. And he's really good in tournaments. So I mean, these are all the factors that kind of. Plus, I mean, the cherry on top is that he's a Street Fighter character, and it's very easy to be like, well, this is not my Tekken. So yeah,
I hate that.
Yeah,
because the thing is, he achieved his goal. The only reason they put Akuma into the game wasn't even for diversity or whatever. It was for hype.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one person who can tell me that when they saw Akuma, they weren't hyped.
Yeah.
You can dislike him now, you can disagree with what he does, and you just say, oh, he shouldn't be in the game, blah. When he was announced, it was hype. You can see JDCR when Geese got announced screaming. Like these additions to the game were great.
Yeah.
And like the different characters are fun. Like a lot of people play and love Steve. That's because he's so different from other characters.
Yeah.
What? There's so many people who love Waron. Again, a different, unique design, but there's a few characters in Tekken 7 just get lost in the mix.
Quite a few.
What makes Lars special?
Yeah, good point.
Well, you know, Lars was the Leroy of the back of the day. Lars was the original Leroy, the easy kind of poke-heavy character they introduced to bring in new players, basically. Then at first I think it was Bob, maybe. Then it was Lars, and it's always someone.
Well, personally, just to mention homogeneity, I think it's scandalous that there's 2 character slots for Kuma and Panda. You know.
Then don't play tag 2.
Yeah, don't play tag 2.
True, but you know, it's
No,
that's just the point.
I'm just irritated that I still get comments on my character overviews video asking me, "Where's Panda? You forgot Panda." I was like, "No, I bloody didn't."
That she does have one thing over Kuma. One thing is the Anna bitch slaps.
Oh, yes.
To retaliate, Kuma can't.
Yeah.
Because she's a girl.
I didn't actually know that Panda could do the slaps.
She's technically a better character.
Interesting. Are there any hurt box differences between the two? Any at all? Completely the same. Yeah.
Do they have slightly different rage art, like
animation?
Oki?
Yeah. Maybe it's different.
Oh, they have different Oki.
I think it's slightly different. I think maybe Panda is slightly better. I don't know. I can't remember.
But you could have had that in the costume select part of the character rather than having a different character slot. Do you know?
All right. Guys, do you want to rant a bit about Fuckum Ram, or how you doing for time, basically?
No, I think my internet is
dying.
Starting to pack out. Yeah, I'm starting to get lag and missing sentences here. So
yeah,
I will save my Fuckum Ram rants for another time.
Another day. All right, no worries. And we've been at this for over. Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it.
One shout out.
Yeah. Shout out.
Beware of the French secret weapon, Painkiller. He plays Fuckum Ram. Be very scared of this man. You don't know him, but he is a scary man.
You think whenever tournaments open back up?
Very well in tournaments recently, and if he starts doing offline tournaments, you will feel the wrath of Painkiller.
Why does he want to kill Bread though? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Don't worry.
Funny guy.
It was much harder you.
Funny guy.
But yeah, that's it. If we're not going to rant about it, I'm just going to give a shout out to my friend. You know, that's it. He's actually an old Tag 2 player that he was a top player in France, but he wasn't famous. And now he left France I don't know why, but he left very far, and he's come back under a different name. But this man you didn't know before that was scary is even scarier now.
So he's an old player with a new name.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll keep our peepers peeled for whenever hopefully tournaments do get back rolling again. Whoever knows when that will be.
I really hope he plays.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, thanks so much for your time. It's been really awesome, for your insight. It's really unique insight on a really unique character. I think I've learned so much in the past couple of hours I would have just never known by myself. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for the invite. It is such a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, pleasure's all mine. Thank you.
I've been wanting to do this for a while, to be honest.
Cheers, man.
I love these kinds of, discussions.
Yeah, it was good times.
Yeah, it's good fun, and it's always good to kind of keep the community together in these kind of tough times.
That's true.
Just have an opportunity to speak my mind without having to every 3 words say, "Oh man, I blocked this."
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, again, cheers, chat. Everyone, viewers, thanks for tuning in. And that was it for Wavedash 10. And I'll catch you next time. See you all.